Good evening. Hey Sonia, how you doing?
Hey Joey, I am doing all right, I guess. I'm good. Just a little tired from doing all this dang overtime all
Yeah,
week long, but yeah.
don't you get up at like 4 or 5 in the morning every
Yeah,
day?
4:30. Well, my alarm goes off at 4, but I actually get up at 4:30. That's only on the days that I'm working overtime, but I've been working overtime all week. I have to be to work at 6 a.m. and I have to get up super early because it takes time for me to, prepare my.
Oh, okay. Well,
Anywho, how are you
I'm glad
doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm glad that we're here for another episode of Late Night Q&A with ZodWriter featuring Sweet Sonia G. This is episode 24. So that's a cool thing.
Oh my gosh, is it really? No.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that the other day. I can't believe we've been doing so many episodes. So it's cool. It's cool that we're here. And yeah, I know we won't be here all night though, because I know you got to get up early, and I'm tired too. So I know how that is. So I know. Like I remember, like the last show we went super late, and I know you were just like you had to go because it was late. I understand. I mean, especially when we go,
I know. Yeah,
especially
it's cool.
especially when we go for like when we end up doing those really long ones where we go for like 3 hours or whatever. It's like yeah, I know how that
Hmm.
I know how that is,
Yeah,
but
I'm glad you're feeling better though.
yeah, I'm definitely feeling a lot better than I was. That's for sure. I don't know what I had. I mean, I had like some weird stomach thing or whatever, but I'm feeling a lot better now. So I'm glad, which I'm happy about. So that's cool. And
Yeah.
we got Marcus Cruz in the chat. He says, "I want Zack Snyder
Hey,
to
Marcus.
cast Brie Larson in Rebel Moon. I just want Zack to piss the fandom menace off." Okay, well, who knows, Marcus? Maybe you'll get your wish. Anything is possible these days. And Lucas Ironside says, "Hello, Zod and Sonia. Hey, what's up, Lucas? How you doing?"
Hello.
Oh wow, 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 wow! I've been kind of busy this week. Well, actually, I had a busy kind of a busy day today, and then I did a live stream. I did a live stream earlier this morning, and then I uploaded an old episode of the ZodWriter show from 2014 as a companion piece to the episode uh, to the live stream that I did this morning. So
Oh,
I've been
that's
pretty.
cool. I was just
Uh,
about to ask if you went on a rant this morning.
yeah, I did. I did go on a rant, and it kind of it was it kind of turned into some other stuff too. Like it started off as a rant about Twitter locking me out of my account, which they did again. So I had to go through a whole bunch of hoops, but
No
I
way. Oh
but I
my gosh.
eventually I eventually got it unlocked and was able to get back into it late this afternoon. So I was able to get back on, but it's just been a pain. It's been weird. I don't know why Twitter keeps targeting me. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, because that was the second time in like 3 months. So I'm kind of fed up with Twitter. So it's
Hey, you heard about Nicki Minaj, right? I'm not a big fan of hers, but I just happened to hear about her in one of the news sites that I follow. I guess she was talking about the vaccine, and now I guess Twitter had booted her off of there because they claimed she was spreading bad information about the vaccine. And like the White House is trying to get a hold of her because they want to talk to her. But it's crazy because she has such a large following, And yeah, I think they're cringing in the White House. It's crazy. But anyway,
Yeah, I don't know. But I can tell you one thing. We just had a troll in the chat trying to ruin
oh,
the
I
stream.
see.
So I don't know if that's a coincidence or
We did
not. But
I have mods in there. Yeah,
yeah, so
take
we
care.
yeah, so we just had to deal with that.
Who is that?
Deal with
Did you take care of him already, or you want me to go in there and?
yeah. He's out of there. He's out of there. Yeah, we took care of it. But it's unfortunate though. I'm noticing with the more streams that I do, the more that we tend to get that type of thing. I don't know.
And why is it those the Asian? Is that like some kind of Asian
Well, no,
writing? Or,
you know
it's
what it is. You
crazy.
know what it is. It's like they're spam accounts. They're created to come in and spam a chat and just create problems. Because notice how everything that was said is all like sexual related or like juvenile juvenile sexual humor, dick, cum, sperm, balls, all that kind of stuff. Like why come into somebody's chat saying those kinds of things? I mean, what's the point? Clearly, it's like, and I always have to wonder. It's like, what did I do to you? Why are you doing that? But I realize, and I've researched this, and a lot of it's just random stuff. This is what people do. They come on live streams and they just want to mess with people, and it's just something that you deal with when you do a lot of live content. Well, when your channel starts growing, when your channel starts
Yes.
growing. But I don't even know if it's necessarily when your channel starts growing, because when you look at you know you look at when I got that, when I was when my channel was really attacked, and a bunch of trolls came in and were consciously trying to get my channel knocked off the internet. I didn't have that many subscribers then, and I don't really have all that many subscribers now. So it's not a subscriber base issue. I mean, my subscribership has improved since that attack, but it's not like I don't know. It's weird. I don't get it, but it's
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, thank you for handling that, Marcus. And hello to you. And hello, Showcast.
yep. And Lucas Ironside, Nick says Nicki Minaj is actually from my country of Trinidad. Cool. And Marcus
Oh, that's cool.
Pierce, the one thing I learned in 2020 is the impossible becomes possible now. Oh yeah, all the time. Anything is possible. There are no. I've come to the conclusion, Marcus, as time goes on, that there are no impossibilities. Anything is possible for real. It's just the way that it is. Showcase
Hmm.
says, "Hello Zod, hello Sonia. What's going on, Showcase? Good to see you this
Hey,
evening."
hey.
And Showcase is saying hello to Marcus. Marcus is saying hi to Showcase. And Lucas Ironside says those trolls have nothing better to do with their lives. Yeah, I don't. That's the thing I'll never understand, Lucas. It's like, don't people have anything better to do? And then I thought about it too. A lot of times I wonder about those particular types of accounts, if those are even real accounts, or if they're just programmed like bots to come in and do that. Because if you notice, they don't come in and actually say complete sentences or ever actually make a thought. They come in and they just blurt out like one word at a time, and they'll just keep spamming. So that could be a bot. That might not even
Right,
be. That could be a programmed account. That might not even be a person, which makes it even all the
right.
more ridiculous. Like, wow.
It's crazy.
Uh, Showcast says greetings, Lucas, and
Lucas.
Marcus says that PlayStation Showcase broke the internet. To be honest, everybody was shouting and screaming. And Lucas Ironside says, "Hey, Showcast," and let's see. Showcast says, What is he saying? Trini's reach for. Reach for what? What are you saying there? Not sure what you're saying there, Showcast. But yeah, it's interesting. I like I said, I'm not. I don't take it personally anymore. I just look at it as an everyday thing that happens the more you do live streams. What's up, Nicotina? Good to see you, man. How you doing? Boy, this is a
But yeah, I get trolls all the time on Facebook. I mean, it could be people like family members. You know me, Joey. You know, I could be very political on my Facebook, but yeah, the trolls, people I know, family members, whatever, they'll hop on my shit and just start talking shit about stuff that I'm posting if they, don't like it, But yeah, sometimes I have to silence them. I won't unfriend them, but I will put them on mute for like 30 days where they can't see my stuff and I won't see their stuff. So yeah,
well, I've seen
it's kind of cool that you can control that.
yeah, well, I've seen family members unfriend family members and that kind of thing. I always think that's a little bit ridiculous because it's like a certain family members are it's like, well, you're gonna see that family member again. It's not like that family member is out of your family just because you unfriend them on Facebook. So I always find that funny when family members unfollow each other.
But the ones that talk shit the most are the ones that like live in other states, people that I don't have to face every day. Like here in Arizona, it's just like my immediate family, like my siblings and their and I have a couple of aunts and uncles and cousins here, but like it's immediate family that I mean it's other family members, like extended family and stuff like that are on my Facebook. However, they like live like in California, Texas, and different states like that. So I don't have to face them every day. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, well, and it's good, and it's good when you don't
Oh,
have
you got
to
quiet.
have to face
I
them
could hear
every day.
you.
No, I didn't get quiet. I'm just trying
Fair
to
enough.
give you a chance to get your words out. That's
Oh,
all.
okay. It just got really quiet. I'm so used to hearing you breathe while I talk. But anywho.
And Lucas Ironside says true Showcast, and Showcast says maybe this got to do with that Turk situation when they bombed your stream. It's a possibility, Showcast. I don't know. I mean, again, that's why I say I try not to allow it to get to me anymore because I feel like it's just a symptom of doing streams on a regular basis. And Marcus Cruz says, Zod, when it comes to Batwoman, the writing of the show is terrible, but Ruby Rose as Batwoman was perfect casting, in my opinion. Showcast says, I said Trini's reach far. It's a local expression from the place Lucas is from.
Oh.
And Showcast wants to know why Sonya is upside down.
When I took that picture, I was actually like laying on my back on my bed, and I just held my phone, and took a selfie. I held up my phone up above me and took a selfie. And then when I put my phone in the upright position, the photo flipped upside down. So I just kind of left it that way. I thought it was cute, so I left it as is.
Yeah, it totally looks cool. It fits it fits any profile. It's unique. So that's cool. I I just so you said that you got current on What If, right? You watched most of all the episodes that were
Oh
available at the
yeah,
time. Yeah. I'm looking forward. I
yeah.
think
I
there's a
really
new
enjoy
is there a
it.
new
I
episode?
did.
Is there a new episode this I think there's a new episode this
And,
week. Um
and I've learned about a lot of characters I didn't knew existed.
oh, okay. Yeah. Well, like I said, I really like the show.
Yeah,
I think it's
pretty cool.
it's a good
I really enjoy it.
show. Yeah, there's a new there is a new episode.
I'm
There's a new ep
all caught up too. When's the new one come out?
I think the new
Is there one this week?
I think the new episode is out. I think it is. I
Okay,
don't know.
yeah, because
I have
I was all caught up when I last spoke to you and told you I watched it. That was last week though, so
yeah, the last one. Yeah, the last one I watched was the Marvel Zombies episode. Arkham Gaming says, "Hi Zod, how are you doing?
yeah, that one, yeah.
My day has been good for watching the recent episode of season 3 of Titans, and I love this. It's my number one favorite DC show. That's cool.
I
I'm
started
glad.
watching that this week.
Oh, you started watching Titans?
I'm like on episode, yeah, I'm like on episode 4, first season. Yeah, I really like it. It's so good.
And Showcast says, "Well, I ain't seen trolls leave over 1,000 comments, so that's not normal." And so it's got to be more than just simple trolling. Well, that's why I say you could be right. I don't know. Maybe I again, Showcast, you always you always have a lot of great points when it comes to this kind of stuff. So you could be right, man. I'm not. I have no idea. Like I said, I just try not to let it try to let not to let it get to me, because if I let it bother me, I won't do any streams. That's like what I was trying to tell what I was trying to tell Enos earlier today. When you have people that have a difference of opinion, or they don't like you, or they disagree with you, it's best just to let it roll off your back and continue doing what you do. Because if you let what people say to you bother you, then it's just going to hinder you and going to keep you down, and you don't need that. You just need to do your thing and focus on you. And that's how I think everybody needs to handle it. You have to understand that there's always going to be trolls. There's always going to be somebody out there that disagrees with you or doesn't like you for whatever reason, and you just have to understand that and carry on with your life. I mean, that's really the only way you can do things.
Exactly.
You
Just
got
keep it
you got to be
moving.
yeah, you got to be logical about it. It's not what are you going to do? You can't force somebody to you can't force somebody to feel how you do. Showcast says first season was the best. I mean, I actually liked the first season of Titans. I didn't, I started season 2 and I didn't like what I was seeing, so I really didn't continue on. But I did like the first season. And Showcase says, "Do you have to mention that fake?" No, Showcase. I was just, I'm just making a point. I'm not trying to stir anything up there, man. So it's cool. I'm just making a point. Lucas Ironside says, "Don't let the trolls get to you, Zod. They just want to torment you and make you not stream anymore." Yeah, well, I realize that that's the goal. That's always the goal of this kind of thing. People always want you to stop doing your show, or for you to just disappear or whatever. They want you gone for whatever reason. And it's like I said, I try, and I don't really understand what the purpose of all that is, because I try to be positive. That's the thing. I try to come out here, and even if I have something to say, and even if it's a negative topic, I try to, put it in a positive light any way that I can. But like the show I was doing today, it was difficult to be super positive with that stream this morning, because I was upset about Twitter locking out my account again. Showcase, you could be right. It could all be connected, and that's one of the things that I realized. But then again, like I said, I haven't really said anything or talked about anybody specifically, so I don't understand why that would keep happening. And Showcase says it's easy to do until you have his minions fight his battles for him. Well, you know what, Showcase? Everybody, all right, that has a big following, that is, that has is going to have a lot of defenders. That's just the way it is. You're going to always have that. Like I look at all you guys, and I think all you guys are great. You guys are always here. You guys show up to all the streams, and it's just awesome. It's great that you guys want to be here, for all these different streams. It's like I said before, if you guys weren't here, it'd be hard for me to do these streams. And Lucas Ironside says Titans always starts off great and declines. I already know that season 3 finale will be a disappointment. Yeah, you could be right. Arkham Gaming says, I just feel like, in my opinion, people are a little too harsh on Titans. I don't understand why people don't like Titans in season 3. It's been awesome. Well, all that stuff honestly is subjective. So whether you like, movies or TV shows, it's all subjective. You can like what you like, you be into what you're into. I think Sonia's having technical problems. I'm pretty sure she'll be back. Showcast says, and him playing the victim, acting like people are standing up to me, really like I go around YouTube saying stuff about him. The dude's paranoid. Well, and that's another thing that happens a lot too. When a person gets a huge following and they get a lot of people around them, they always have paranoia and they always think people are talking about them. So it's one of those things and so that was one of the points I was trying to make earlier today when I said, it's not the case. It's not like people are coming into my chats attacking that guy on a regular basis, because that's just not true. That's just not factual information. You have people that come in that may disagree, that may not like you for whatever reason, but they're not coming in attacking you on every single show or anything like that. Just because somebody disagrees with you or doesn't like you for a particular reason doesn't mean that the majority feels that way. And Belle Reeves says, hello. What's up, Belle? So great to see you. Always awesome seeing you in the chat. And Jesse Allen, what's up, man? Hey, Jesse, hashtag release the air cut, man. What's going on, brother? Lucas Ironside says, hey, Belle. Simon says, hello, Sonia and Zod and everyone. Yeah, hopefully Sonia makes it back. Guys, I think she's having internet issues. Showcaz says that's their MO. Start stuff, then when someone checks them, they're the victim. If you can't handle it, don't start the fire. And Katsuka says, hello, Zod, Ola, Zod, and everyone. What's up, Katsuka? How you doing? Uh, uh, and Showcase says, hello, Belle Reeve. Showcase says, hello, Simon. Hello, Katsuka. And Sweet Sonia G says, sorry, guys. I somehow got booted and keep getting an error for StreamYard. Weird. Sonia, that's exactly what was happening to Johnny Alpha in the early days of when we would do the ZodWriter show. When we started doing the show, that's what would happen. He would get booted from somehow get booted from the stream through StreamYard. Like his internet wasn't gelling with StreamYard for some reason. I mean that sounds like you're having the exact same issue that Johnny had. It's weird. Showcast says hello, Jesse, and Sonia has returned to the chat. Welcome back.
That's so weird. I don't know what I kept getting that weird error message again. That 40 it says 404.
And
I
what
don't know
what the
what that
404
means.
what the 404 error means is that it means that your internet is having
Let me
difficulty
look it up.
connecting
It
to the
shouldn't be
to
having
the
difficulty.
to the server. That's what the 404 message is. And
I'm gonna
and
I'm gonna look it up.
Snyder Fan 99 says hello everyone. Hey, what's going on, Snyder Fan? Uh, Katsuka 92 says someone attacking you, Showcaz. And Jesse Allen says hello, Showcaz. And Arkham Gaming says yes, all subjective with TV shows and movies. Not everyone's going to agree or like everything. I think the only thing people have to do is respect that person's opinion. I agree. Agree completely. Showcast says just some stuff that went down on an earlier stream from Zod. And Sweet Sonia G says, hey, Katsuka, guys, I'm trying to get back on, and it's not letting me. So we are Currently
Okay, yeah,
caught
I
up.
found what the 404 code means.
Yeah. Hmm.
It says something about an error. It says, this is what it says: a 404 error occurs when a page requested by the user cannot be found or is invalid, and the server, instead of returning the correct HTTP error code, yeah, and then it gets all these other codes, it returns an HTTP status code. I don't know. That's just weird.
Hmm. Yep, 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 yep.
Anyhow, let me see. Everybody's so quiet. Are we all caught up with the chat?
Hmm.
Oh, so what's going on, Joey? With work and everything.
Well, so far so good. Showcast says, well, the Nolan situation doesn't bode well for the Snyderverse. I think the Nolan situation doesn't bode well for Warner Brothers. I think that this is really bad for Warner Brothers when you have a filmmaker as prolific and as important to the industry right now as Christopher Nolan, leaving Warner Brothers to go and make movies over at Universal. That's not a good thing. I, it's terrible for Warner Brothers, I've said this before. I think Warner Brothers deserves to lose every single auteur filmmaker that they have, and if they do, it'll be their own fault because of how they've treated their filmmakers, how they've treated their talent, how they've treated the fan base. It's pretty bad. Like I said, I'm actually really and that's why I give a lot of credit to this, Marvel What If TV show because I'm really enjoying what Marvel's doing there. They're doing something unique. They're trying to give us stories that we don't wouldn't normally get, and I think it's paying off for them. I think it's helping popularity among people who aren't normally interested in the MCU generally. And Lucas Ironside says losing Nolan is a massive loss for WB. I agree. I agree. Any studio would be lucky to get Christopher Nolan. Let's be honest. It's Christopher Nolan, so you don't want to see that guy go to a competing studio if you're Warner Brothers. I just think that it's a bad thing, but it's what WB deserves because their tactics are very, very amateurish, the things that they do. You would never, based off of their behavior, you could never look at Warner Brothers and say, oh, yeah, that studio has been around for decades and decades. You could never look at them and they're making amateurish mistakes, doing crazy things that only like studios that are desperate or are in perilous scenarios engage in. And that's why I'm not understanding what the heck is going on. And that dude Vince says, hey, I'm at work and forgot my charger, but figured I'd come by and say hi. Good to see you, Vince. Glad that you are stopping by. I hope that you have a great work day. But yeah, the Christopher Nolan thing is pretty monumental for the industry as a whole. Although I do think that it's kind of ironic that Christopher Nolan decided to go to Universal, especially since Universal was the first of the studios at the start of the pandemic to go day and date with their theatrical and digital movies. Universal did it first with Trolls, with the movie Trolls, that animated film that was supposed to go to theaters exclusively, and then they decided to make it. They did it day and date with digital. And so I just find it ironic that Nolan would go to a studio that is that did the very thing that they you know, that did the very thing that he's mad at. Basically, did the very thing that that he's mad at Warner Brothers for doing. So it's kind of weird, but at the same time, you know, I think maybe Christopher Nolan might just feel that he needs a change of scenery, and things will be better for him somewhere else because he's so angry at Warner Brothers because Warner Brothers decisions affected him and his movie directly. So that's my take on it. Sweet Sonia G says, "Hey Vince, have a good day at work." Yes. Yeah, I'm always impressed when people say that they're listening to us while they're at work and doing other things. And that's one of the reasons why this kind of format is nice, where it's just a Q&A kind of a thing, and just go back and forth with the chat, and you're able to communicate directly with people, and you're not really on camera, so there's nothing for them to really see, and they can put you on in the background and be listening to you while they're doing other things. I think that's cool. I'm assuming you're typing in the chat because you're having issues again. Are you okay?
I am perfectly fine. I didn't want to talk over you, Joey. You were talking, so I thought I'd say hi to Vince, in the chat. I didn't want
Oh,
to interfere
oh, that
with
that
what
is
you were saying.
that is so sweet of you, sweet Sonia G.
What's up, Johnny?
There's the man. There's our buddy, our good buddy Johnny Alpha, who is an honorary member of Late Night Q&A. Uh, here's the link, Johnny. If you want to go ahead and jump on and join us, that'd be cool. It's always a pleasure to hang out with the great graphic vandalism himself, Mr. Johnny Alpha. You know, I,
Who
you
said
know.
you put Johnny on? I
Oh,
didn't give you permission to do that. No, I'm kidding.
Johnny's such a
Johnny, no, that's
Johnny's
my
such a
boy.
just Johnny is such a wonderful and pleasant individual to be around. That it's just I just have this natural inclination to invite him on whenever we whenever.
Yeah, I want him to jump on so we can talk about that stupid ass horror flick that I watched, The Malignant. It was the stupidest thing ever.
Oh my
I
God,
hate that movie.
Johnny was right. We all watched it.
That
We all were like,
movie is
we
stupid.
were all
I
like,
hate it.
when Johnny was like, well, watch *Malignant* and you'll change your opinion of James Wan. It's like, yeah, definitely. And
That movie is so stupid.
I have the distinct pleasure of adding a football legend to our live chat. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Joe Montana joining Late Night Q&A with ZodWriter and Sweet Sonia G. What's up, Johnny, buddy?
Nothing, man. Just chilling. Yeah, dude. Sonia is hilarious. I was talking to her in on Twitter about this earlier. Yeah, *Malignant* is it's so cringe, but I find the last hour of the movie so hilarious. I can't hate it like I want to. The prison fight scene is so funny when the lady that looks like Jackie Brown or Foxy Brown, and then the white lady with the mullet start beating her up, and then like her head cracks open, and you finally see the, I guess you can call it a monster. And oh, dude, it's so fucking hilarious, dude. Like, James Wan should just stop with
That
horror.
movie's
He
so
doesn't have
stupid.
it anymore.
I agree. I agree. After that movie, I agree with both of you. I think it's time for him to just kick back, do
Make
do
Fast and Furious.
the
Yeah.
smoking that he likes to do, and yeah, make Fast and Furious movies. Those seem to be his forte now. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking. I just know that he didn't do a good job. Uh, it's
It's
oh my God,
I
it's terrible.
I told Johnny I was in like the first 30 minutes and I stopped watching But last night I went in and finished it up, and it was just so stupid.
Yeah, you quit watching back when they were still trying to pretend like it was kind of a serious movie where like you didn't know if it was ghosts or what was going on. But yeah, once they get to the videotape and you see the actual brother on the back of her head and shit, you're just like,
Yeah, that was
seriously,
very.
dude, you're remaking Basket Case of all fucking movies,
Like who? That's what I want to know. You remake a movie like Basket Case, and then you don't even do it well. Basket Case is actually a better movie.
oh, it
I
shit
haven't
all
seen
over it, and it was
that
like,
movie.
oh, it's really good. It's like it's very Full Moon esque. It's trashy, but it's a good slasher film.
I have the whole trilogy on Plex if you want to watch it, Sonia. I have all three
I'll
of them.
I'll
So
check it out. Okay.
they're good. Yeah, they're good little they're good little cheesy horror movies, but they're way better
I hope they're
than.
better than that shit that I watched the other
Oh
day.
my God!
Oh Lord.
It's like night and day, but like you could tell that that's what James Wan was going for. You could tell he was going for a basket case
Well, because
type of
nobody
film.
knows it. It's been
And
forever
the
since.
CIG sucks.
Yeah, the CGI sucked in it.
Oh my God! Yeah, that was some.
Or CGI. I
That
said
was
CIG.
that was some of the worst. That
CGI.
was
I'm
some of the
sorry.
worst. That was some of the worst CIG we've ever had
Yeah,
on film. It really is terrible. Wow.
it was so bad it should be called CIG instead of CGI
CGI.
because it made
No,
it
no,
It
made
was
no.
the
crazy.
whole art, made the
I
whole
yeah,
art form look bad.
yeah. I think you're right. I think it should be classified as CIG because it was
And
terrible.
CIG. Okay. It was
Yeah, so
horrible.
it was so bad it's not even CGI anymore. It's CIG.
CIG. That's like a perfect
I'm
way.
tired, you guys.
That's like a perfect way to describe crappy effects. CIG. SIG.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Arkham Gaming. He says, what does Arkham say? He says, I know people are freaking out with Nolan leaving, but the only movies I really liked of Nolan's is Batman trilogy and Inception. I didn't like Tenet. Why do people care? Well, it's because Christopher Nolan is Christopher Nolan because he has that following and he has that pedigree behind him.
It's a
Uh,
huge L for WB, man.
it's a
That's what
huge
it is.
L. I mean, regardless of what you think of the man's film, he is a respected man in the industry who has a lot of clout. And essentially, once he leaves a studio like WB and is very public about it and goes
He's
over to a competitor,
he's worked for them since Memento. All of his movies
uh huh,
from Insomnia until now have all been Warner Brothers. He has been a team player. He's been a studio, a contract player, I guess is what they call him in Hollywood, for them. And the fact that he is taking less money to make a Universal film says a lot. I mean, it speaks volumes. Regardless, because I'm not a huge fan of his either, but I just see the huge W Warner Brothers is taking from this. They're gonna have to
oh my
add an
God.
extra. I mean, L. My bad, not W.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's huge. It's like adding insult to injury. The fact that he's taking a pay cut because what Nolan is basically saying is, I don't care what you pay me, just get me the hell away from Warner Brothers. That's all he's saying. I mean, and it speaks volumes. And you better believe that the people running Discovery, looking at all this merger thing that they're going through right now, they're going to be looking at all of this. You think they want to lose a filmmaker like Christopher Nolan? Oh my God, it's things are bad over at WB.
he's one of the crown jewels of the studios. There's like him, there's Clint Eastwood, and I guess Denis Villeneuve is kind of coming up, but he ain't quite there yet. Like Nolan was their top dog, and he just was like, "Yep, no, I'm gonna go over and work for the Floating Globe people. I'll make the Mummy Part 4 before I work for those guys again." So
Oh
it
my
says
God,
a lot.
that be I love it. Johnny. I hope what you just said comes true. Wouldn't that be like the ultimate slap in the face? He does the Mummy Part 4.
I would be scared to see Christopher Nolan's Mummy because like, what would he do? He'd be like, okay, I'm going to take this movie and I'm going to make it realistic. And I'm like, as cool, as funny as it would be to see him make the Mummy Part 4, I'd be terrified of it at the same time. tell you the truth.
Well, it can't be any worse than what James Wan did with this Malignant film. Let's just put it that way. Uh, Katsuka says, "Now my boy Johnny, there you go, Johnny." And a question mark from Arkham Gaming. Showcast says that he got disconnected, and Katsuka says, "Hot take, I kind of liked it." Yeah, that is kind of a hot take. If you were talking about the James Wan recent horror film,
Did you like it
he's
as a comedy? Like I could see you liking it as a comedy.
comedy. It's one of those movies where you can sit down and laugh while you eat Chinese food. It's basically,
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically all it's good for. You're either getting high or you're eating Chinese food while you're watching it. That's really.
I liked the girl in it. I thought she acted really well. I felt bad for her because she like really performed her ass off, but like the rest of the movie failed her.
Katsuka says that police
Yeah.
station scene was ridiculous.
Oh, she kills the entire fucking station, man, except for the two cops, the two main cops. They survive, but she kills all the cops, all the prisoners, the lawyers.
Did you
the
did
people
you
in there.
Sonia? Did you get to the police station scene? Did you make it to
I
that
saw I
far?
saw all of it. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
I
okay. You
saw
saw the
the
whole
entire
movie.
movie. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
Because like I watched 30 minutes the first. I watched all the way up to where did I tell you, Johnny? Where she got snatched up when
Yeah.
she after she did that tour, and then yesterday I had finished it off. But I didn't like it.
And Showcast says, well, what I meant was the fact that he left WB, which is on the verge of a merger, meaning may not be going anywhere, or Nolan wouldn't have left if he was being replaced.
He can't be replaced though. He's like one of those fucking guys that like he's singular. You know what I mean? Like Christopher Nolan is Christopher Nolan. Like you can't really get somebody to make his films. As much as I dislike him too, the guy's a force of nature, and he's got a rabid fan base, and like they can try all they want to, but like Discovery ain't gonna who they gonna replace him with? Dr. Oz? Huh? What's her name? Rachel Ray? Honey Boo Boo? Like they ain't gonna replace Christopher Nolan with nobody from Discovery. I can tell you that.
I'd love to see, yeah, I'd love to see them try. I mean, who are they going to be? And here's the thing, and you see the excuses that Warner Brothers is making now, where they're saying that in the future they may step away from acquiring auteur directors to do their movies, and the only reason that they would say something like that is because they're trying to throw shade at Christopher Nolan, because Christopher Nolan, like him or love him or hate him, is an auteur director. So when you make a statement like that, it's essentially WB trying to do damage control and make it seem like it's not a big deal that someone like Christopher Nolan is walking away. But the reality is, it's a huge blow to them. You know what? I think it would have been funny. I think, honestly, I think Christopher Nolan would work for Full Moon Streaming before he would work for WB again. I'm telling you, it's things are that bad. Showcase says, to be honest, the modern horror films don't have the thing the older films had. Well, that's been true for a long time.
Theatrical
Older,
horror, straight to
yeah.
video horror still rocks, man. There's a lot of really good horror, just none of it gets put out in theaters.
Yeah,
Sadly.
because it's too good for
Too good,
theaters.
yeah.
There's things that you can release direct to video that you're gonna get that cult following. You're gonna get that you're gonna get that rabid fan base. You're not gonna get none of that with a lot of these
It's a return to
PG-13 horror
form, though.
movies. Yeah.
Horror was born out of the VHS era, man. That is what really got like the whole genre popping with the fanboys and stuff. Was all the movies that were coming straight to video, and it's returned to that. And like I guess like yeah, you got the crappy Blumhouse movies and the Conjurings and stuff like that, and some of them are okay. You know what I mean? Like they're decent. Like I would call them more thrillers than horror films, but like legit, really good horror, it still gets released all the time. You just don't hear about it unless you're in the know and watch Shudder and stuff like that, but horror still rocks in the most.
And I started, speaking of horror that rocks, I started watching that movie that you were talking about on Pink Buzz yesterday. Nothing really happens.
I wouldn't really call
And
that a horror film, but I don't know what
and
else to call it either. It's
well,
weird.
what I'm saying is it's a very psychological movie, and from what I've seen of it so far, I only got about about midway through, and I really like the use of VHS in this movie. I think that that's the coolest thing about it so far.
Yeah, because they do it in a way that's not nostalgia bait. Like they used like the way the tapes would glitch and stuff as part of the editing process, which I think really kind of hammers it home instead of like trying to color grade it to what they think the '80s look like, but really didn't. Like that whole like neon aesthetic came out of it, but it wasn't actually what the movies look like. This movie doesn't try that at all. It just kind of has some of the aesthetics that you would actually see if you rented like a movie that had been watched to death at a blockbuster, and that's really charming about it.
Oh yeah, the whole tracking thing, and one of the things that stood out to me on your Pink Buzz show was when you pointed out about how how you'd gotten to be like a tracking master with the VHS, and that you were like almost you were almost like a symphonic composer with those tracking knobs.
It was a gift, man. Like they were like if you had a tape that was watched a lot, yeah, you'd have to. And I would know when to get down by the VCR to get ready to, adjust it, because you'd have to adjust it a couple times a film, you know what I mean, to get it lined back up. And it's a lost art, man. People don't respect and realize like how much artistry there was to VHS tracking.
And how much effort you would have to put into a VHS tape, because if you rented something from like a video store, you would have to always remember to rewind the tape after you were done watching the movie, because a lot of the rental stores at the time would fine you if you return the tape without rewinding it. That's why a lot of the stores adopted the mantra later on: "Be kind, please rewind."
Yep.
It became like a staple in the home video industry. And Andrew Casali says, I like Batman Begins more than The Dark Knight. Well, I'm with
Yes.
you, and I think Batman Begins is better. I agree. I think Batman Begins is the better film.
Yeah, it's for insights like this way. You're the one, Andrew.
It really is that really is a good take. I'm not.
It is. Yeah, no, I'm not.
I'm not. Nobody's gonna disagree with you right now, right here, Andrew. I think that's that's like spot on. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Dark Knight has its moments, has some good sequences, has some good dialogue. But essentially, for me, I think Batman Begins is the better Batman movie. At that, to be straight up and honest. Showcast says Nolan is more likely to do the Invisible Man. I reckon. I wouldn't mind seeing Nolan do an Invisible Man movie. I think it would be interesting.
Yeah, and he's right. It would fit right into his wheelhouse, especially if he adapted H.G. Wells's book right across and just did the real scientific version of it. Fuck yeah, I'd watch that. Get David Bowie to be up in there as a scientist. Oh no, he can't anymore. I forgot he passed away. What an asshole!
Wow, David Bowie. David Bowie was straight up on your mind. You're like, oh my god. Well, they could. Well, wait a minute, though. They could resurrect him.
Yeah, CIG his ass in there, man.
CIG David Bowie. Yeah. What do you think? You think they should CIG David Bowie?
IG.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. That's crappy visual effects. CIG.
My gosh.
Crappy integrated graphics. CIG.
Perfect acronym right
Oh
there,
my
man. Hell
goodness.
Oh my God. Yeah, 19. Crappy integrated graphics from the 1960s. Showcase says, did you hear the director of Dune calling Marvel films copy and paste movies, saying they steal stuff from other movies?
I think what's funny about that is, like, that quote has been said so many times. Dennis Villeneuve copy and pasted his quotes. So, I mean, I'm a little sick of these bougie ass fucking directors saying that stuff, because chances are he's gonna end up working for him. Like Ethan Hawke ran all kinds of mouth about Marvel, and he's playing a bad guy on Moon Knight. You know what I mean? I guarantee you, fucking Denis Villeneuve will end up directing the Black Knight or something in 2 years. So
Oh my god. Well, no, they'll get Valeru to direct a Ghost Rider film.
that's Zack Snyder. Hello, everybody knows Zack Snyder's directing Ghost Rider. Because he's a master at that CIG shit. He's all about the green screens.
Showcase said, I said if Toby was leaving, Nolan would not have bailed, since the issue was Toby who was in charge of greenlighting films. So if he ain't going, no Snyderverse. Well, yeah, you're right, and I've said that. I've been saying that for months now. And this is where people keep calling me a psycho when I rant about that, and I've said it before that, yeah, if Toby Emmerich stays, you're not getting anything. You're not going to get any more of the Snyderverse. It's going to be more of the same. And that's why I criticize all these people that claim to want the Snyderverse to continue, but they support all of WB's other crap, and then wonder why we're not getting more of that. So I'm at the point where, yeah, you're right. Nolan probably wouldn't have left if he knew that Toby Emmerich was going to be fired, but maybe that hasn't been established yet. Maybe, and quite frankly, like I said, maybe Nolan just wanted a change of scenery and wanted to get the heck away from WB, because you got to understand, WB is a very toxic work environment at this point. Clearly, any director with any type of a vision, or any type, again, an auteur director, is struggling. The Dune director, for example, is just as upset as Christopher Nolan, because he doesn't think his movie Dune should be airing on HBO Max day and date. He thinks that Dune is just theatrical cinema, and even The Sopranos, the director David Chase, who directed the Many Saints of Newark Sopranos prequel movie, is upset about with Warner Brothers about the day and date releases. He went on
should
record.
be on HBO Max, but I think them putting Dune on day and date is dumb. They should do what Marvel did and really put it a month after it releases in theaters. So
Well, here's the
try
thing.
to get a box office take from the damn thing.
Well, here's the thing about that though, about David Chase and The Sopranos. He went as far as to say that had he known that this was what Warner Brothers was going to do, he wouldn't have made the movie. He's actually on record saying that. So this is how bad it's gotten. But I agree with you. I think that movie should be on HBO Max because it's a Sopranos prequel.
Yeah, it wasn't going to be I don't see it being a theatrical hit film.
Allegedly, though, it was made to be in theaters. But I feel like everybody that makes a movie, of course, is going to say that. And, Patty Jenkins put her foot in her mouth by coming out saying that she'll never work for Netflix because she considers Netflix to be fake movies. That's like the worst thing you could say, Patty Jenkins.
Yeah, especially since they put out the movie Kate on the 10th, and it shit all over anything you've made in the past decade. So yeah,
that's what I'm not understanding about Patty Jenkins. People defend Patty Jenkins and think she's so great, and then she makes stupid statements like that. Oh, Netflix isn't real movies; they're fake movies. Well, yeah, and your Wonder Woman 84, that wasn't fake.
So stupid.
Yeah, Netflix has put out some of the best movies of the year, and Patty Jenkins is over here talking like her Wonder Woman 84 movie was so great. I got news for you, Patty. Your Wonder Woman 84 movie was put on HBO Max, was put on streaming just like all these other movies. So you're not special, and I'm betting you any money Warner Brothers doesn't even consider you to be auteur either. So your Star Wars movie, I swear to God, Patty Jenkins better put her money where her mouth is with her Star Wars movie coming out. She's making a Star Wars movie for Disney, And
Now that's gonna go on streaming too. It'll be on Disney Plus a month after it hits theaters. Mark my words. So yeah,
I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. A lot of these filmmakers need to embrace and need to understand that we are living in different times and that you're not going to get maximum revenue from theatrical releases anymore. People are not going to the movies like they were. So there's no reason to sit there and assume that just because they release your movie in theaters, that it's automatically going to make $1 billion. It's like I feel like a lot of these filmmakers live in a
yeah.
different world than the rest of us. They're
I
not
guarantee you
understanding.
that Shang-Chi set the standard from now on. That's how it's going to be. Even after COVID, even when theaters are back to full swing, I guarantee you, like a month after they launch on theaters, they'll be on streaming so they can make another $30 for the people that don't want to go and see them. And they'll pay those theater prices to rent them and stream them. And then they'll put out the physical one and make more money that way. It's just going to be a winning scenario that's not going to go away. So
Right.
if you're a director that doesn't want your film streaming and you think that it should have like a theatrical run that like they used to, you're delusional. Like
Yeah,
maybe
you're
a
not going
company
to
like
get it.
A24, no, even A24 put Green Knight on streaming, so never mind.
Yeah. Yeah,
Even the
Green
bougie
Knight.
ass pretentious studios are doing it. So yeah, shut up, Patty.
Right. That's my that's my quote, the quote of the night. Shut up, Patty, because she really doesn't have a leg to stand on with any of the stuff that she's saying. How do you justify calling Netflix fake movies when you've had big filmmakers go over to Netflix and make movies? You've had Martin Scorsese make movies for Netflix, for Christ's sake. How are you going to sit there and say that those movies are not movies just because they're on Netflix? Patty needs to be checked and needs to be knocked down a
Yeah,
few notches.
she's like those people that got all mad when Bong Joon-ho took his movie to the film festivals and they were like, "Oh, we can't show a Netflix movie at the Cannes festival." It's like, "Why not? It's a fucking movie. Isn't this a movie festival?" Like,
Right.
and you
Exactly.
you let Bong Joon-ho show all his other films. I mean, he's a celebrated director of the festival. You know what I mean? He's won all kinds of wreaths and awards for it, and like because he made a digital film, like oh, we can't show it here now. It's like you guys are so fucking pretentious. Like
Yeah.
honestly, you're not impressing anybody with that attitude either. You're being a gatekeeper. You're being a cake eater on top of being a gatekeeper, and it's just gross.
Oh, it is. It is. It is. And a lot of these but like we've been saying, a lot of these filmmakers are not living in the same reality that we're all living in right now because it doesn't affect them because they're they're rich and used to things being a certain way and they're not seeing the big picture. Studios have to focus on this and have to change their business model because they see that the writing is on the wall for movie theaters, like you've pointed out, and so they adjust their business model to accommodate everything. And like it or not, streaming is here to stay. Streaming is
The
not
future
going
for now.
anywhere. It's not going anywhere. I say that the main reason why you have a company like Oculus, you have a company like Facebook investing in virtual reality technology for Oculus. I believe that the future of cinemas is going to be digital through virtual reality because virtual reality is so realistic as it is right now that virtual cinemas are going to become a big part of the future and may actually become business models where you can be at home and you can put your VR headset on and you can have that theatrical experience without having to leave wherever you're actually located. Then you don't have to go to an actual movie theater. You can go to a virtual movie theater and have the experience socially with other virtual reality
Well, not even
users.
the first time this has even happened. The home video market, the VHSs, almost killed theaters when, in their heyday. The thing that they had to do is they had to make the box office total, make it into almost a team sport, a rah-rah type thing. You have to go and rep your thing that you like so much, and that's what saved theaters. That's what made people go see these movies. Is that they wanted to, be able to say that like, oh, my movie was the best because it made that much money, and that is kind of the only thing that's kept the theaters alive. And now that streaming has really become the new standard and norm, and it's quite different. And you can there are so many people making original things for it. Not to mention you have a lot of old heads trying to get involved in it because it's what the kids are into. That yeah, it is going to be a thing like the VHS boom that that's literally going to make theatrical experiences a more special thing. They're never going to go away. Like big important films, they're still going to get shown in movie houses, man. But like, I don't see why your standard rom com you have to go see that in a theater. Like, there's no big explosions. There's nothing important like exciting that's going to happen in it. So I don't get the whole thing that like, oh, I made a movie, it has to be shown in a theater. I get the impulse as a filmmaker, but at the same time it's like, why though? Did you make a movie that's going to be impressive to watch in a theater, or did you just make a movie?
Yeah, yeah. All of these filmmakers are basically thinking that they're making Avatar 2. I think that's what you're getting at. Now, James Cameron, on the other hand, Avatar 2 better not go straight to streaming. That's an exception to the rule. You put a movie like Avatar 2 in the theaters. You don't put it on streaming at all. I think that has to be an experience. It has to be exclusive to theaters. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially with what Cameron's probably going to try to pull off with these next ones, but there's going to be like some kind of experimental head surgery so you can like actually live the 3D in these next ones that are coming out, because the glasses aren't just going to be enough for him. And like, yeah, you're not going to be able to get that from streaming. So like, yeah, it's going to have to be an in theater a procedure that they perform on your frontal lobe. And yeah.
Yeah, you're literally gonna have to connect to the goggles like the way people are connected in the Matrix. You're literally gonna have to they're gonna have to drill a small hole in your cranium and literally connect. And I'm with you, man. Lord only knows the kind of technology he's experimenting with for these films. And Showcast says not whether Nolan can be replaced. Okay, you were clarifying what you were saying there. And Igor says, "Be kind, rewind." Showcast says, "Hi, Igor." Papa Brad's Gaming says, "Kneel before Zod." What's up, Papa Brad? Good to see you. Papa Brad says, "Hi, Igor and Showcast." Sonia must be having internet problems again. Yeah, yeah. She's in the club that you were in, and I was telling her she's in the same club you were in at the beginning when you started doing ZodWriter shows with me on YouTube. Your internet was like allergic to StreamYard. I remember that.
Yeah. Well, and another thing is like you got to check where how your connection is in your house. Like she could have great connection, but in her room it could be really shitty. You know what I mean? That's just how Wi-Fi works
Yeah,
sometimes.
Wi-Fi works bad like an old rabbit ears antenna. Wi-Fi really is can be broken down that simplistically. Showcast says hello, Papa Brad's Gaming, and Papa Brad's Gaming says hello to Sweet Sonia G. Zombie David Bowie, there you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
exhume him. I actually, when you said that, Papa Brad, exhume him, I kind of get I kind of could see it. I could see them literally exhuming him, and him just like floating up in the air and singing like it's labyrinth all over again.
Yeah.
I just, for some reason, I could totally see David Bowie wanting to be exhumed for a
Good
movie.
news, chaps. I didn't actually die. I just needed a really long rest. Let me out now. I'll be in your movie.
And this is a great quote. I love this, Papa Brad. This is awesome. Entertainment is repetitive. I
Yep.
agree. I agree 1000%. In fact, I agree so much that we are going to pin that comment.
Well, another neat thing about Dennis Villeneuve's comment is his new movie is an adaptation of a classic book, and his film before this was a sequel. So yeah, he can go ahead and talk about copy and pasting all he wants, but it's kind of fucking what's that word? Ironic? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Showcase says, yeah, but it's true. What he said they are copy and paste. Well, in some cases they are. I mean, you definitely Marvel definitely has a formula. You know, nobody can argue that their films are formulaic. So I kind of, you know, I can kind of see because I mean I agree with that. I agree with Scorsese too when he says Marvel films are like, you know, what did he say? They're like theme park rides. And
Yeah, and I don't see why anybody got mad about that. I think that's kind of a
I think that was
compliment.
like I think, and I also think that was kind of a spot on way to describe them because I've always seen Marvel in that way too. It's like when you go to an amusement park and you get on a good roller coaster and it's fun experiencing it at that time. The majority of the Marvel movie experiences that I've had theatrically have been good. I'll go to a movie theater, I'll watch the movie, I'll enjoy it, I'll eat my popcorn, I'll eat my chicken tenders, and then I'll leave the movie theater feeling good about what I just watched, but I can move on with my life. It's not something I'm thinking about over and over and over again. It doesn't stay with me and resonate with me like a movie like The Green Knight does. I don't think twice about a Marvel movie. I'll watch it, think, "Oh yeah, that was a nice theatrical experience," and I'll move on. And I'm perfectly fine with that. I understand that Marvel movies are made for general populace consumption. They're made so that you can consume them and enjoy them for what they are, and you move on with your life. That's why people are loving, you know, this Shang-Chi movie. From by all accounts, it seems that like that's what it is. It's a continuation of popular consumption type film that you can watch, enjoy like a thrill ride, and then move on with your life afterwards. And so I'm looking forward to seeing it, but I'm not going to go to a movie theater to watch it because I'm not wearing a mask while I'm sitting in the theater. And Papa Brad's Gaming says there are truths and entertainments of people like most movies take a safe road, unfortunately. Well, a lot of these theatrical horror movies, like the point you were making, Johnny, a lot of those movies are, you know, are safe because they're
Yeah.
PG-13 horror is not PG-13 horror is more like thriller type stuff. Like what was that series you were talking about? Those movies on Netflix. That's like
Oh, the Fear Street?
the
Yeah.
Fear Street. It's like Goosebumps. You said
Cutification.
yeah. You said it was Goosebumps for edgelords. I just, whenever, you know, whenever I think about it like that, it's like, well, yeah, I mean, you got a point there. It's not meant, and again, it's another example of something that's not meant to stick with you forever, but it's just, you know, entertaining at the time, and, you know, you can just move on. Papa Brad's Gaming asks a very great
Yeah,
question.
I
Will
think
Dune be
so.
good? I think it's gonna be good.
I think it's
I
gonna
think
rock.
it's
It
going to
looks
be.
beautiful. The
It
cast
looks
is
great,
great.
honestly. I do get a lot of. I'm going to be honest. I do
David
get a
Lynch
lot of
vibes.
David Lynch vibes. I get a lot of David Lynch vibes, but I feel like David
It's kind
Lynch
of
got
copied and
screwed.
pasted, it looks like. A little copy and pasted there, Dennis, but yeah,
A little
from
copy
David
and
Lynch.
pasted from David Lynch because you know your main character looks eerily similar to how Kyle MacLachlan looked in the.
Oh, the still suits, the way it all looks, man, a lot of it looks straight from it. Like, they made the ships a little more dragonfly looking and stuff like that, but even David Lynch had the bug-shaped ships and stuff, so, I mean, it looks a lot like it, dude, kind of copy and pasted.
Yeah, really does kind of look copy and pasted it's copy and pasted with a modern sheen. That's what it is essentially, right?
Yeah, it's
You know,
photocopy and pasted, I guess, to make
I actually, you know, I actually, you know, I try to look at Dune, okay, and I think Dune is you know, Dune is the David Lynch, you know, if you go back and you watch some of the old, you know, David Lynch interviews with regards to Dune, and it's actually really tragic because it shows that he's still bitter about Dune to this day. He
It's
was
the only
asked in
film
an
that calls a failure. The only thing in his entire career that he considers a failure.
a complete failure. Yeah, yes, he considers it a complete failure, and he was asked recently about the new Dune movie coming out, and he actually said he has no interest in Dune, what's whatsoever.
I don't really care about it. I had my time with it, and now I just want to make season 4 of Twin Peaks in 25 years.
I'm like, okay, Dave, I'll wait for it, dude. Just get it done
I,
in
I just
25 years.
I
Oh,
just I just but see, I love, his candor about Dune.
yeah. Well,
I
because
mean,
he's such a character himself. You know what I mean? Of course he's gonna have a really good take about it.
the theatrical version of the 1984 Dune film still has David Lynch's name on it, but if you watch the extended cut that was released, the extended cut has Alan Smithy's name on it.
I think he's way too hard on himself, though. I think his Dune rocks. I fucking love that
I
movie
really
so
do.
much.
And I especially love the fan edit of Dune that was made by Spicer. The fan editor Spicer did a wonderful edit where he tried to piece it together, all the footage. He tried to piece it together in a way that is, true to what David Lynch really wanted to do, and he did a great job. It's probably the closest thing we'll ever get to a
Do you have a copy of that?
Lynch director's cut. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay,
I have it.
cool.
I have it on my Plex account,
Because I know fan edits are a bitch to find when they
and
get
it's
old. So
also and it's also on YouTube as well for you to watch. And it's one of those things. I think what we'll do, because I tested out Twitch the other day, yesterday, and Twitch was working pretty well as far as streaming goes, from what I can tell. So I think what we'll do, we might do a watch party
well, because
upcoming.
they don't have the algorithm like YouTube does. So if you're really worried, like we were with the Fist of the North Star, just delete the VOD after we do the show. But like they do not monitor the stream as it
Well, what
goes on,
I've
so you
noticed
can
about
watch like commercial properties and stuff
Yeah, but
on
what I've
Twitch, unlike
noticed
here.
is, unless you have to actually go in and set it up where it will save the content. Otherwise, after you're done watching it, after you're done streaming, it's gone. I've noticed that it didn't save an archive of the testing that I did yesterday.
Okay, cool. So yeah,
So
that'll probably save us a lot of headache because like that's how a lot of my friends who do watches on Twitch, how they told me that we'd have to pull it off and not get in trouble with it.
yeah, and I would be perfectly fine. Other than doing that, we can also do it on YouTube and just leave it unlisted. It would be unlisted, and only it would be a private link, and only people that know about this show would be able to get access to the private link to join us. So that would be something that we'll do in the future. But I would like to watch that fan edit with you. I think that would be a fun time. It's a 3 hour edit of the film. So
Okay, so it's a little longer than the extended cut.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And Papa Brad's Gaming says it's been tried a few times. And Igor says Patty, I clueless. Hence the difference is between her Amazons and Zach. Patty is clueless. Patty would not have cast Gal Gadot. That is absolutely a fact. Showcast says, well, it's easy to criticize the day and date release, but let's not forget the situation. The cinemas was closed for a long time. Exactly. They've been closed for a long
A
time, and
year.
despite what people think, we're still living through this pandemic. It's not
Yeah.
over.
Delta's
So
going strong, so I ain't going to no movie house to watch nothing. I don't care how cool it looks.
people need to. It's like I don't understand. Just because theaters are open, in some places, doesn't mean that it's
Return
just
to
a
normality.
return to normality. Yeah, just go and watch the movie. And like I said, I'm not going to a movie theater where I gotta wear a mask the entire time I'm watching a movie. I'm just not doing that. I mean, I get irritated, wearing my mask, going to a grocery store. I go into the grocery store, I'm wearing a mask. About 10 minutes later, I'm ready to pass out. So Here, the thing is that I just think you gotta it's a little bit pretentious for filmmakers to think that their movies are that are that special that they have to be exclusive to theaters. They all should have learned from Christopher Nolan, from Tenet's poor box office performance. They all should have realized then that the writing was on the wall during this time that we're living in. You know, if Christopher Nolan's Tenet couldn't get people back into the theaters during a pandemic, I don't know what will. You know, on that level, and I think
Wonder Woman 84 ain't gonna do it. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and like you said, Johnny, I think Shang-Chi is kind of the model of where of like the is basically the Shang-Chi is basically the ceiling for these movies now as far as theatrical runs go. Because you're not you're only going to get so many people who are going to go to the movies, and you know, it's just
Yeah, give yourself
ridiculous.
a nice little window to get maybe a box office take, and then yeah, drop it on streaming where everybody else is going to watch it. And I think that for movies that were released like that, they should count the stream rentals as part of the box office take, because I think a lot of them would come out making more money than they would have if they were released at a cinema. To tell you the truth,
Oh yeah.
if those streams were counted.
Well, I like what they did with Green Knight. When Green Knight started out, it had a small theatrical window, and then it was released digitally, video on demand. So you have, you know, so you have a way to please everybody. And make no mistake, Disney Plus, you know, Disney's not stupid. They're going to take Shang-Chi because they're seeing how well it's doing in theaters in spite of the pandemic. They're going to take Shang-Chi eventually. They're going to throw it on Disney Plus, and they're going to put it behind a paywall. And
In
you're
one
going to,
month, it's probably gonna be on Disney Plus in a couple of weeks, because that's what I heard. It was gonna be 1 month after the theatrical release that it's gonna drop on streaming, and I think that's a good sized window, and it's a killer game plan, because they could be like, hey, it's gonna be $30 to rent this bitch, and everybody's still gonna do it. Like, I'm gonna rent it when it comes out. So
well, yeah, because people still want to see it. And like we've pointed out, not everybody is comfortable going to a movie theater right now. Papa Brad's Gaming says possible death versus streaming it at home. This is the sad reality. I mean, you know, if you're really a fan, though, Papa Brad's Gaming, right? To some people, it's worth it. It's worth the risk. No, not really. Not really. Papa Brad's Gaming says, I'm not sitting in a theater masked. No, me either.
especially not if you're trying to eat chicken tenders. Like, they got to develop one with a zipper on the front, so like you can kind of zip it open and stick one of them fuckers in if you do go back.
That actually would be a cool. That would actually be a cool invention. Let's do that. Let's do that and patent that the zipper the
Chicken
zipper.
tender theater mask.
Yeah, the zipper chicken tender theatrical mask, and you could pull out. You could unzip it, unzip your mouth, eat your chicken tenders, and then close the zipper. That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh my god, that'd be hilarious. You'd hear a bunch of people unzipping their mouths in the theater in unison to eat their popcorn and stuff. Oh my god, that'd be funny. And they could sell them at the theater. So you get yeah, they'd be exclusive to the theater like some 3D glasses. Igor says theaters are dying. Everyone has a bigger screen TV now than they used to, especially in the stimulus check America, and streaming is how people watch now. A
Yeah.
beautiful point. Beautiful point. And something else that I also, you know, mentioned earlier, which is virtual reality. I watch movies in a theater all the time via my virtual reality headset. You literally have an 80-inch IMAX screen, okay? And you watch your movie and you're sitting in a movie theater and you have the illusion of you're in a theater and you can literally, you know, have virtual popcorn and throw the virtual popcorn at the screen, and you literally can just enjoy a movie. It's the same exact experience. The only difference is that you're not actually physically in the movie theater, but everything else is the same. It's incredible how realistic it is. That's why I say there should be a business model for first run movies in VR. I think they could actually make some good money, marketing it towards that, because you really like, so you go in and you buy a movie ticket for whatever the next big theatrical movie would be. So like Dune, for example, there should be some sort of virtual reality film deal for Dune, and you could watch Dune on a bit. You could pay your movie ticket price and watch Dune on a big screen in virtual reality. It's incredible. But again, your point, Igor, is just as good. You have a big screen TV at home. You can sit at home in your home theater and you can enjoy,
Well, and plus
a movie.
the surround sound for homes are getting way better and a lot less wiry and stuff. Like I got a really nice one, and it's only 3 speakers, but I can't really tell the difference between it and a theatrical one. And yeah, it's a Bose thing, and it rocks, dude. Like I don't understand the idea of needing to go to the cinema if you don't have to go see something that's really exciting, that's a social event for you and people, you know what I mean? Otherwise, just watch it at the house.
Well, that's why I think like the virtual reality experience would be good, because you can watch it with other people, you can experience it with other people, and have that feeling of being in a crowded movie theater. It's
Yeah,
that
but you
good.
can't get a hand job accidentally in VR like you can at a real movie theater. So that's why it might be cool to like go back to one eventually.
Yeah, you actually can't. You actually can't get. You actually can't catch a cold or a sickness or whatever other diseases are being
Well,
passed around at the movie
I
theater
wouldn't
either.
I wouldn't really compare what I talked about to one of those, but okay, yeah, we'll go ahead and throw those all in the same basket. That's how you feel about hand jobs. Wow,
We could also
you must have some bad ones in your life. Wow.
we could also talk about the chicken tenders. I mean, come on, man. I could you can make your chicken tenders at home and watch, and while you have your big screen TV. It's like Papa Brad's Gaming says, it's just not the same. Yeah, but it's adaptation. It's adapting to the times and evolving. It's like you said, Johnny. They said that home video would be the death of theaters, and it wasn't. And it's
Yeah,
the
it
same.
survived it.
It's going to be the same thing here.
It was a close call though.
Theatrical experiences will survive. If anything, they'll just be for special event movies. Theaters will just be like Fathom events type things. They'll be huge venue type, for big movies. And honestly, I think Dune is a big enough movie that deserves to be seen in theaters. But I'm still going to watch it in HBO Max. But if
Yeah,
they
well,
give me if
because of
they
the
give me an
climate,
option,
if the sickness was a lot less prevalent than it is right now, I would totally go see Dune. But since we got Delta and everything's spiking back up, yeah, it's kind of not really applicable to really want to go see anything. I don't care how impressive it looks on a big screen, like, and it ain't worth it. I had COVID, the regular version of COVID. I don't need a special newfangled version of it. It's
bruh,
not a fun
exactly.
sickness to get, honestly, people.
Exactly, and I would say that for me, if they were to announce that they were going to allow Dune to be streamed in a virtual theater, and this is my idea, that every movie studio should have their own virtual theater app where you can click on, you can install it onto your VR headset, and they've got the theater design, whatever theater companies they're partnered with would be the logos you would see, and would be the style of whatever theater you're sitting in virtually, and you could pay your movie
Oh,
ticket price
I'd
and
always
watch
go
it.
for like the old school ones, man, with the balconies and all the wood
Oh,
and the
I
lighting
love
and shit.
oh, I love it. I watched Star Trek 2: The Wrath of Khan in a classic virtual theater like that with the balcony. Oh, it was a wonderful, wonderful experience, man. And with the virtual headset and the 7.1 surround sound. Johnny, it's just as good as being in a movie theater. I don't know, where Papa Brad's Gaming says it's not the same. Yeah, you're right. It's not the same sitting at home, but if you're in a virtual theater, it's the same. It's the same experience. It's that good. It really is. And that's why I say the only thing that I'd like to see is the social aspect of it be a little bit more be a little bit better implemented, where you literally
Yeah,
are in a
the thing
crowded
is they
theater.
they gotta online, since the theatrical experience is dying, they need to make it so you could watch a movie, stream it with your friends without having to worry about how you're going to get away with it and not get in trouble, because the FBI laws just are too strict for the digital age. You know what I mean? For sharing and stuff. They need to relax the penal code on that, so people can, you know, share it with a couple friends, and you guys can share it over your headsets or whatever, and not everybody, that's the one constricting factor of this that I can see, is the old
Oh
penal
yeah,
code.
the digital rights and stuff for this stuff. Yeah, people haven't returned to theaters in their droves in droves even now. So WB didn't have much of an option. They messed up with not informing the directors of their plans. Showcast, that's a great point. I think if Warner Brothers would have handled it a little bit better, where they essentially sat down with all of their filmmakers and said, look, this is the business model that we're looking into moving forward while we're navigating through these tumultuous times. And they should have gotten input from the filmmakers. They should have spoken to them and broke it all down and made concessions in their contracts. There's so many different ways that Warner Brothers could have handled the situation. And I think a lot of it is, garbled communications. They didn't communicate in the way that they were supposed to. So it's just another L on WB's part. But like I said earlier, it's kind of ironic that Christopher Nolan would choose Universal when Universal was the first studio to break
Yeah,
that theatrical model.
yeah,
They
they
were
got
the
in
first
trouble. Yeah,
studio.
didn't the theaters
I
say they
mean,
would never work
yeah,
with
there
their
were.
films again?
There was a couple of theaters that actually, went on record saying we're done with Universal. We'll never showcase their films again. So that's why I just find it a little bit ironic that Christopher Nolan would choose a studio like that to go to, and he's so mad at Warner Brothers for essentially doing the same thing. And Jesse Allen says she said that, but I thought Wonder Woman 84 debuted on HBO Max. Yeah, well, that's the thing. She was upset too, Jesse. She was upset about Wonder Woman 84 debuting on HBO Max, just like Christopher Nolan was upset about Tenet and the delays and all that stuff. All of these filmmakers, I feel like, have legitimate gripes because of the way the studios handled things. And this just goes to show them that these studios are greedy. The studios don't care about the filmmakers. The studios don't care about the talent. They just care about the money that's coming directly into their bank accounts. That's all it's about. So if you really think about it, yeah, they could have handled it better and they could have worked it out, and that would have been the smart thing. And I think Warner Brothers, at least, at the very least, should have made some concessions. And if they consulted anybody, they should have consulted Christopher Nolan at this point. I don't know why you would alienate that guy, knowing who he is. You just don't do that. You take care of your top tier talent. You don't want your top tier talent flying the coop. It's just logical sense, right? Fake movies rock.
Hell yeah.
It is all the same. Showcast says idiots like Campia saying WB backstabbed the theaters, acting like COVID wasn't a thing. Well, let him go to the theaters with his hazmat suit. No one's going to see a film because of COVID. That's a
Yeah.
great point. Regardless of the fact that you're always going to have diehard film fans that are going to go to the movies no matter what.
Also, never listen to John Campia. I
But
mean,
if you
honestly.
but if you value your but if you value your health, because if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. So if you value your health, the wise, prudent thing to do is watch The Matrix 4 at home. I just don't I just don't see I'm like well, they're giving you the option to watch it at home, to stay safe, watch it in your home theater environment, eat your chicken tenders alone. Why do you need to risk your life to go see a movie? It's not that serious.
Also, if a human being can find the stupidest way to say something, John Campia will be that human, and he will find the stupidest way to say anything he ever tries to say. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard a good take from that man.
I don't. Yeah, I feel like on a credibility scale of 1 to 10, he has zero credibility. So it's hard to even
Fathom caring about what his opinion on
yeah,
something.
right. Fathom him even having an opinion, because whatever he says is going to be asked backwards compared to what most logical and intelligent human beings are going to be thinking about. And Papa Brad's Gaming says filmmakers live in an entitled community, and and on echo chambers. Well, yeah, they're all
Yep.
going to stick together because they're angry. But I think Patty Jenkins kind of stuck her foot in her mouth when she took those shots at Netflix, because she's not. Patty Jenkins is not who I would consider to be an auteur filmmaker. I
She
don't.
was at one point, like in her early career, when she was making garbage like Monster, which still wasn't a good movie, but like it was a festival darling. She was an indie hit. Like she actually had credibility, and it's all pretty much gone now. But at one point, like she kind of was like one of these people that are coming out of Netflix that everybody's adored, and I think there might be a hint of jealousy from her from that, because she had that for a minute and she let it slide, and now she doesn't like that other people are getting it for what she considers cheating, but I consider, just the future. You know what I mean? Like Netflix, like they backed some really strong people and they have some really great content. Like it'll backlash, dude. I guarantee you in a couple years, like a lot of shit on Netflix will probably be garbage again. But it is what it is right now. And they have a really, really solid docket of films that came out this year. And you can say whatever you want to, but you'll just sound petty, like Patty Jenkins at the end of the day if you say it.
Yeah, right. My thing is, don't be Petty Jenkins.
Well,
That
the
that's
sad thing is, I want to like her, you know what I mean? But like, man, she's like Alex Campy, DeCampy, and a couple other people I know, and you're like, you're talented, you could be so fucking cool, but you're an asshole, and you open your mouth and you say these awful things, and it just ruins it for anybody that could be a fan of yours. Like, why do you do that to yourself? You just setting yourself up.
right. She's setting herself up because I feel like she's in a situation now where she's kind of gotten too big for her britches. She's basically working over at Disney and is getting a Star Wars movie based on what, I don't know. I don't know how any studio looks at Wonder Woman 84 and says, "Oh
She's
yeah,
making a Princess Leia movie, dude, or something like that.
well, no, she's making Rogue Squadron, which is
Oh.
I which to me is like baffling. It's mind blowing to me. Like, what has she done cinematically that makes her qualified to make a Rogue Squadron movie?
Well, I mean, she's only made a few, right? She like sat dormant after Monster till she made Wonder Woman, and then she's made Wonder Woman 2. So I think she has like 3 or 4 films to her name, anyways. She's not like
Right. I'm not
proliferating in
understanding what
any.
prolific. Disney. Okay, so Disney wouldn't allow, didn't want Zack Snyder, who's making Rebel Moon, which is basically a Star Wars movie without the Star Wars name. So you don't want Zack Snyder to come over to Disney and make Rebel Moon, Star Wars, but you want Patty Jenkins to come over and make Rogue Squadron. I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding that. That just doesn't compute with me. Like, I honestly feel like you're Patty is getting way
Well,
too
is it
much
a Star
credit.
Wars movie or a show?
What?
Is she making a movie or a show
She's
for
making a
Star Wars?
movie. She's making
Okay, well,
Rogue.
it doesn't matter anyways. The Star Wars movies are garbage. If she was making TV show, I could understand people being excited or like agitated about it because the TV stuff has been wonderful. But like as we've seen from the films, that's why like they haven't picked a winner for that shit yet. Except since what's his name, the Godzilla guy, that made Rogue One. Like
Rogue
that's
One.
their one good movie that they've
Rogue
made.
One is their Rogue One is the crown jewel of the modern Star Wars, and I feel like at this point, Gareth Edwards, is that the guy?
Yeah, Garrett.
I feel like we're in a situation now where if Patty's movie fails, if Patty's Star Wars movie fails, what she'll do, she'll blame two things. She'll blame the fandom and she'll blame
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. She'll say, "Well, I didn't make my Star Wars movie to be on Disney Plus for $39.99. I made my movie for." I hope Patty understands that there's a possibility that the same thing that happened with her Wonder Woman 84 over at HBO Max could very well happen with Rogue One. Or no, with Rogue Squadron. I don't see Patty. I think Patty needs to step out of herself for a minute here and look at the bigger picture, which is what a lot of these people don't do. And Papa Brad's Gaming says, "I miss stimulus checks."
Have a kid under 18 years old. They're about to send out new ones, but you have to have kids to get them. So if you have a child, little baby child, like you're in the green there, buddy. But
Yeah,
or
yeah,
maybe you
yeah,
can get one from somebody.
those are going to be, those are going to be, I think, recurring stimulus checks
Yeah,
too.
they got 5 of them scheduled, and I think this is going to be the second one that they're sending out to families. So yeah, if you got kids, you're getting them. But like if you're regular schmo that like works and likes the extra money, yeah, you're screwed.
Igor says, "Gone are the days of the blockbuster theater films." Well, I think the blockbuster theater
Yeah,
films will
no, that's still
always
stuck
be
around. Yeah,
theatrical. Will always be theatrical. Like, make no mistake, Igor. Patty Cake's her film is going to be theatrical. It's going to be. It's just that it's also
for a
probably going to
month,
be
but then it
on.
can end up on streaming.
It's also going to be on Disney Plus for $30. I just it's you're yeah. So hardly anybody will see it theatrically, but it will get a theatrical release. That's the thing, Trolls World Tour for over at Universal, where Christopher Nolan went, got a theatrical release, but it was also released on video demand. And guess what? More people watched it on video on demand. It was such a
It
big
became a
hit.
hit because of that.
It was such
Yeah.
a big hit for Universal through video on demand that Universal basically is leading the entire industry now. When Universal said, "Oh, maybe there's something to this streaming thing. Maybe we could do this all the time with our movies." And that's when the theaters got ticked off, because the theaters chains started looking at that and saying, "Well, no, you're not. You're not going to cut us out. You're not going to, pull the rug out from under us and cut into our profits." So I think it all. I agree. I'm in agreement with you, Johnny, where I think it all needs to be a united thing. I think they need to factor
When
in
this, yeah,
streaming with theater numbers.
when COVID dies back down a little bit, man, the big blockbusters, they'll make a return, man. But it ain't gonna go back to the way it was before COVID. Shit's changed, and it ain't going back because people found out the convenience of certain things.
Well, and that's what it always is. People will always choose convenience above everything else. They will choose convenience over quality. Just like as a consumer, you will always choose something you want over something that you need. It's just a human it's a human trait. It's what human beings do. It's what they've always done. So again, convenience, like back in the day of the home video, when the home video market was new. there were two there were two competing formats at the time. There was VHS and there was Betamax. And at the time, Betamax was the higher quality platform. But VHS ended up beating out Betamax for supremacy in the market because VHS was more convenient than Beta.
Well, that and the tapes were smaller. You
Cheaper.
could put way more on a VHS tape, and from what I understand, recordable Betamax tapes they were a half hour long, whereas you could put if you depending on what speed, you could put 9 hours on a
On a
VHS tape.
VHS tape, and so VHS won out because of convenience over quality. It was the same thing with Laserdisc. Laserdisc was essentially a niche format that was superior, vastly superior to
Well, it was
VHS.
better than it was even better than DVDs and
BV,
CDs.
in some cases, yes. In some cases, it was the highest quality analog signal you could get through a home video platform, and it's still lost to VHS because of the convenience and the ease of the tapes. People got used to it. It was easy. And they weren't as cumbersome as like a laser disc, because a laser disc is like a giant DVD the
Well, they're
size
the
of like
size
a
of a
like a
record. Yeah.
record album. And so you got all these record albums. And here's the thing, laser discs were super expensive as well. And but let's not forget, that back in the day when VHS was a relatively new home format, it was $90 when you wanted to purchase a video to own in your collection. Videos would come out; they would be $89.95. That would be the price. So VHSs, when they were kind of new and the home video market was new, it was essentially home videos were priced for rental because they wanted you to go to the video stores and rent movies, and that's what basically launched the home video market. So people, and again, there was all these people who believed that it would be the death knell for movie theaters back then. And like you said, Johnny, it was a close call because home video really took off, to the point of like mania. But essentially, theaters still, they learned to adapt and exist and peacefully coexist. And that's what has to happen with streaming. Streaming needs to become a part of the conversation, a part of the theatrical pie, not a competitor of it. They need to, merge it. And that's why, they need to accept the
Because
reality.
yeah, at the end of the day, the fans just want to watch the film. We don't really care. I mean, like we would like to see some of them in theaters. Like I'm not opposed to it. I just like the illness. It just keeps me away right now. But I would like to see a lot of stuff in theaters. But at the same time, there's a lot that I'm like, well, dude, like if they just had that so I could watch it at my house, that would be better. And now that's a viable option. And I don't think that it's a bad one. And like there's this whole kind of war going on that only exists with the studios and the theaters, whereas the people that want to watch the films just fucking want to watch the films.
Yeah, I'm very happy to be able to have access to all these movies at my fingertips. A couple button clicks and you're in. Showcast says Patty Jenkins will be against that too, saying that that's not real cinema. Watching it with virtual reality. Yeah, I could see Patty Cake saying something like that. I agree with you. Patty's not really in touch. I think, like I said, I think Patty really needs to be knocked down like 10 notches. And somebody needs to look her in the face and say, look, Wonder Woman 84 was trash. It was not a good movie, Patty. Just
Y-
because you're making Star Wars doesn't give you the right to criticize everyone else. You talk all this crap about Netflix, but guess what, Patty? You're no Martin Scorsese. You're no Zack Snyder. You're no Ben Affleck. All of these people have done. have done films for Netflix and they've been successful. What are you talking about when you say that Netflix isn't real cinema? Are you blind? Okay.
Well, and also it's been a really useful tool to help people get into foreign cinema as well. Like I said, Bong Joon-ho has done like original films for there, and it's gotten more people into South Korean films. You got a lot of Japanese directors that are coming over, and people are getting excited for those and checking them out. So like Netflix is and these streaming services are doing really good for all kinds of types of cinema, and to try to discount it because you think that going and sitting in a sweaty theater with a bunch of people screaming fucking kids makes your movie real somehow, it just makes you look so bad, makes you look so bourgeois.
What
You're a
is
cake eater. Shut
what
up
what is
before some
real?
French people cut your head off,
Wh-
bourgeois.
What is real? Real is
Yeah.
whatever your brain tells you is real.
It's
It's
not a
just a
real
bunch
film
of
unless a
a
kid
bunch of
ruins it for you screaming.
screaming, yeah, or an old man is sitting in the back coughing the whole film. I mean, really, is that what it is? I don't understand, Patty. I have enjoyed every virtual reality experience that I've had. I've enjoyed every single one of them when it comes to watching a movie. I've gone back and watched a lot of old classic movies. Like I said, most recently I watched Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful watching it in that experience, and I was sitting in an area on the couch where I was able to plug in my headset so that it could charge while I was watching the movie, because if you don't have it plugged in, that's the one thing that needs to get better with these virtual reality headsets for watching movies, theatrical
Bigger power
films.
source.
Bigger power source, because you need to be able to kick back and watch the whole movie without having to worry about charging the headset and running out of battery life before your movie is over, because
Well,
you
I saw
generally only get a couple hours of power for these headsets. It's not like you get like 8 hours of battery life, and you can watch Zack Snyder's Justice League without having to charge up the
I
headset.
saw an ad. There's a company that makes them, and they're kind of like gamer chairs, but they're for VR experiences, and they have USB ports all over them. And there's actual things that if you're watching a film, you can set it to where it'll rumble the seat like a
Yeah,
theatrical
yeah,
experience will and
yeah.
stuff. And like they literally have like a chair that like will replicate all that stuff, or if you're playing a game, it'll do it too. So it's set up for all the different types of VR, but like one company's doing it, so there'll probably be like cheaper, affordable versions of it in the future. So that might be a thing that, like, yeah, like you might not get a better power source, but there will be like furniture that's made to accommodate, the actual immersion aspect of VR, because it's becoming a way more prevalent um thing nowadays than anybody would have thought it really was. Even though it's not
Yeah,
quite virtual reality like we were sold in the 80s and 90s, it's still really cool. You know what I mean?
and yeah, Patty Jenkins will complain about that too. Showcast says if it wasn't for VHS, certain movies would not have gotten sequels, like the Terminator and Blade Runner. VHS gave them extra life, especially Blade Runner. Oh yeah, yeah. Blade Runner is a perfect example of the massive impact of VHS, because Blade Runner is considered a cult classic for a reason. And Blade Runner reached its status because of home video. Yes, that's why the multiple cuts, the multiple releases. Absolutely, that's a great point. Igor says I still have a ton of VHS tapes, many of which
Yeah,
were never released on disc.
that's
That's a
another thing
great
too. Yeah.
point as well. That's another great point. It's one of those situations where you know it's always going to be like that. It's always going to be like that with every format. Uh, Igor says vintage VHS tapes actually go for a lot on eBay right now. I think that and I think when it comes to that kind of thing, I think that's kind of ridiculous. But I do understand that from a collector's standpoint, for some people can collect anything. So it's yeah. Plus, I have several VHS boxes that are autographed. See, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. Papa Brad's Gaming says, I love theme parks. So it is a win. There you go.
Yeah.
Uh, who eats chicken tenders in a theater? I do. The theater that I go to, they make these fantastic chicken tenders. They are fat and juicy and just wonderful chicken tenders. A really white chicken with some amazing breading and then there's these ranch and honey mustard sauces. They are literally
Or do they got like a little tray
fantastic.
that they give you? Because like I'm trying to think of like dipping sauces in the dark and at it
It
in a movie
comes in
theater. That
a
does not
it
sound
comes in
very
a it
convenient.
comes in a like it comes in like a medium sized box, and inside the box there's little pocket spots for the sauces, the dipping sauces, the french fries, and the chicken
Okay, so you don't have to
tenders.
try to balance it on your leg or anything. That's
Oh
cool
no,
then.
no, no. Oh my god, it is a fantastic.
I don't eat it in the movies, man. Like I'll have a soda, but like I don't even eat popcorn or candy. Like I don't know. I just never really been one of those theater munchers.
And
So
so Zod apparently, yes, I do. I do. I'm a chicken tender fan when it comes to the going to the movie theater. Papa Brad's Gaming says I am cheap. Okay.
well, our
Uh,
buddy Oscar Benjamin, he used to talk about bringing Tupperwares full of spaghetti into the theaters with it. I was like, what the seriously?
are you kidding?
No.
My parents used to sneak pizza into the movie theater. I mean, it's practically a pastime sneaking different types of food into the movie theater if you really don't want to pay for concessions. Over the last couple of years, I've been really disenchanted by the movie theater because they've lowered the portions of the chicken tenders, and it kind of upsets me that it's not as lucrative as it was. It's like my God, I order it. I'm like, you get half the portions that they used to give you a few years back. It's crazy. Uh, Showcase says, yeah, but a cheap, no thrills theme park ride, not a great theme park ride like Jurassic Park and even Indiana Jones. Papa
Uh,
Brad's Gaming says, I never hit the snack bar at the movies. Yeah, well, I mean, I totally understand that. I mean, I've snuck like fast food in the movie theater before too. I've
Well, I
had,
think that you're entirely lucky because I've never seen a place that had chicken tenders. And the one time I did try the nachos at one, they were just so gross that, like, yeah, they were like Chuck E. Cheese pizza of nachos. And, like, yeah, I wouldn't want to try chicken tenders, like, on that scale of quality. So, like, it's cool that, like, your theater has them. And, like, even though they're kind of skimpy now, do they still have the same quality that they used to?
yeah, they just skip on the uh, on the quantity. They don't give you as much,
Okay.
and they've made the chicken tenders a little bit smaller too.
But they're real chicken tenders. You know why? Because you get them at the theater. They're not fake chicken tenders you eat at your house.
Right,
Ask Patty.
right, exactly. Ask Patty Jenkins, and she will provide you with what's real or not. If I want to know what's real or not, I'll just ask Patty Jenkins. It's like, Patty, I need to know what's real. Please explain real to me, Patty. Popcorn and Coke are mandatory for me. I don't even mess with candy. I don't like getting candy at a movie theater because the portions that they give you at a movie theater for candy are crap. You buy this big box of Reese's Pieces, this massive box at the movie theater, and you open it up, and there's this small little bag that looks like it houses a
Like
small
it's
portion
drugs, yeah. Like it's all skimped
of
out.
crack at the bottom of the box. It's like, what are you doing? How do you justify? You charged me $8.99 for this box of Reese's Pieces, and I'm barely getting $1 worth of candy in the box. Give me a break. Oh, I don't buy candy at a theater either. It's terrible. Yeah, that's a classic, Igor. extra butter popcorn. Oh yeah, what I like to do when I get popcorn at the theater is butter in the middle, butter on the top, and then doused it with salt. It's fantastic. Heart attack, artery clogging
Yeah.
popcorn. Yes. Papa Brad's Gaming says I smuggle food in like a drug smuggler. That's the best way to do it. That's the best way to do it because not all movie theaters offer high quality chicken tenders. The real chicken tenders
Keister 'em?
that Patty Jenkins likes. I had a pizza. I had a pizza at a movie theater once, and I swear to God, it was nothing but like a standard frozen pizza that they just microwaved and sold for
Would you say it was
25
better or
bucks.
worse than Chuck E. Cheese, though? Was it better?
Chuck E. Cheese is better
Okay.
Wow.
than whatever brand they were using. I don't know what brand but I could swear I've tried the brand before that they were using. I could
It was
swear
probably DiGiorno. It's not
no,
pizza. It's
no,
DiGiorno.
it wasn't as high quality as DiGiorno. DiGiorno actually has some pretty high quality variants these days. There's a lot of different DiGiorno styles and stuff that they have.
But what you had at the movie theater was real. DiGiorno's fake because you ate it at your house.
Exactly. I ate it at home I ate it at home while I was watching Wonder Woman 84, Patty. So I guess that makes Wonder Woman 84 a fake movie because we watched it at home. Judging by those cheetah special effects in your movie, I wouldn't say that your Wonder Woman 84 movie is
Yeah.
real either, Patty.
That was some CIG, motherfucker.
Yeah,
that was some CIG right there.
that's Sonya G's CIG right there, Patty.
Oh man, I love that. That's my favorite thing I heard all week.
CIG. Oh
man.
my God. Yes. Crappy integrated graphics. Showcast says I thought that Saints of Newark was an HBO series, not a movie. It looks like it was made for TV film. It does. That's why I was shocked when I read the article about what David Chase said. I'm like, are you serious? Many Saints of Newark doesn't look any more cinematic than any other TV show. It just looks like a modern TV movie. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, I mean, didn't they put the Deadwood movie on HBO Max? And I mean, I loved that movie, and I was really excited for it. I'd have probably went and saw that in theaters, but yeah, that was one of the first things that they had on there. And I don't know, I don't see why Sopranos should get any better treatment than fucking Deadwood did. To tell you the truth, they're both really good shows, but I wouldn't say one's better than the other, and deserves better treatment.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm personally, I'm past this whole, this whole thing of them saying, well, it was meant to be in a theater. If I would have known it wasn't going to be, theatrical, that it was going to come on streaming, I wouldn't have made the movie. Well, that's like saying, you know, if I would have known I was gonna get a troll in the chat, I never would have started streaming on YouTube, right? I mean, come on, are you serious? Papa Brad's Gaming is laughing. Showcast says I do that all the time. Papa Brad's Gaming. Dune '84 was a good movie. I liked it as a kid. So did many people. I know. Don't know why people are down on it. And Papa Brad's Gaming says it's like you're getting gouged on the prices. So to me, it's always been kind of a gray area. But Igor is right. It's tight. Hot popcorn and a Coke is a good treat.
Well, because those are the only things that they actually hook you up with. The sodas are always huge, and the popcorn you can always get huge, and they're the actual decent priced things. Like you said, everything else is a gray area, and I don't think they really expect anybody to pay for it. Because like Zod said, like you can literally go buy a little bag at the store before you go to the theater of Reese's Pieces, and you'll get more in that just normal family regular sized Reese's Pieces bag than you will in that $8 box that they try to pretend is some value. But You know,
Yeah, yeah. The
it's a
box is
shame. So
insane.
yeah, buy a couple candies at the store, sneak them in your pocket, and walk in with them. And I'm not gonna get angry at you, man.
Yeah, you're getting a much
That's
better value. You really are. Much better value. Much better. Let's see. Uh, Fast 9 was the model and the ceiling. It made more money. Jesse Allen just.
yeah, but it didn't get released on streaming until way later. So it's different than the ceiling that we were talking about with Shang-Chi. Where Shang-Chi's like doing the whole thing where we're gonna put it out for a month and then it's gonna hit streaming and everybody wins. Like Fast 9 got kind of put out on theaters, and I don't remember how that got released, so I might be dead wrong. Never shut up.
Yeah, Fast 9. Fast 9. I don't know. Then they released the director's cut of Fast 9. Jesse Allen says just got to bring back drive-ins. There are some places where they have brought back drive-ins.
That's an idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. Those are always fun too. I don't understand why they closed them. Like I always had a good time at those myself because, like, I like to imbibe. I'm a herbalist, as I like to say. So, yeah, drive-ins are the best. You just roll the windows up and nobody bugs you. Uh-oh.
Oh boy, goodness, goodness, goodness. Showcase, yes, I'm
You
back.
back?
Showcase says, well, Disney got no chance to pay well. To paywall it on Disney Plus since Shang-Chi and Eternals got banned from China. And Showcast says that Sonya is still missing in action. Yeah, I think Sonya just gave up because her internet, she was having issues, and she was probably having trouble getting back on StreamYard. She would have came. I think she if she was coming back, I think she would have been back by now. What do you think, Johnny?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, when you're trying to get back on and you're hearing everybody's voice is all chirpy, that's why I would just give up and be like, I'd text you and be like, dude, like it's happening again. My internet's so crap. Like go ahead and go on without me. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. I at some point I always thought that I would hurt the show by sticking around when my internet was not working. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Jesse Allen says, I don't know if VR films with a live crowd would work, though, on home Wi-Fi with buffering and downgrade in film quality, etc. I don't know. Well, a lot of these VR headsets are optimized for Wi-Fi. That's what they are. They're standalone headsets, so they don't really use any more Wi-Fi than, say, your cell phone connection would. And in my experience, the screens actually are really great, and I never noticed any buffering or slowdowns or anything. Like I said, the only real issues I've had with watching a movie in a virtual theater is when your battery gets low. You're in the middle of a movie and your battery's down to like 15%, and you got to charge it. But as long as you're sitting close enough to where you have all your stuff plugged in, it's not a big deal just to plug it up and charge it while you're watching the movie. That's the best experience you can have if you're watching a movie in VR. It doesn't work so well for like when you're playing VR games. When you're playing VR games, you know that you only have a certain amount of time before your battery is going to run low and you got to recharge. But when you're watching a movie, if you're sitting in a stationary place, you can simply plug it up and watch and continue to watch your movie. That's how I was able to watch the Zack Snyder's Justice League in VR. I just plugged it in. I just plugged it in and let it charge, and sat close enough to where the charger was, so that I didn't have any issues, and I was able to watch the movie without any hindrances. Jesse Allen says, I think John Campia is still going to theaters regardless. No hazmat suit. I don't know. I mean, I think that's where we're gonna be headed with all these variants. I think we're just gonna need Pretty soon we're gonna need hazmat suits just to go outside. It's like we're gonna be living on Dune. And
Arrakis. Over
Showcase
the
says
spice.
who said Campia is human. Jesse Allen says Campia and Grace Randolph are aliens disguised in human skin. Uh, Catherine Bigelow and Penelope Spheres are better female directors than Patty. Well, yeah.
Yep.
I would agree. There are a lot of great female directors that Patty.
Especially Catherine Bigelow. She directed Strange Days. That's one of my favorite films ever. Patty, you make something as good as Strange Days, you might have be able to have an opinion that I'll take seriously. But until then, be quieter. You know what I mean? I can understand you being a little frustrated, but trying to make a hassle and a goddamn outrage out of nothing it's not healthy and it's bad for the fandom. You try to call other people toxic all the time. You say Netflix is fake movies. That's about as fucking toxic as you can get, homie. Just saying.
Oh yeah, it's definitely toxic. It's definitely toxic to talk about, uh, to talk the way she's talking. When she's calling movies on Netflix fake, she's being toxic. I wonder what Martin Scorsese thinks of Patty Jenkins. Patty seems to be the person that says things when it's popular to say it. She threw Whedon's Justice League under the bus, but made Wonder Woman 84 with Jeff Johns, who was responsible for Justice League being a mess. And look where that got her. Listening to a gaslighter who convinced her to get rid of everything Zack set up for her to use in Wonder Woman. Most likely, the way things are going, you have to be vaccinated to get a stimulus check or any check. Laserdisc was too expensive, and people weren't ready for that type of technology. Yet that's why it lost. I mean,
That's true too. It was a little ahead of its time.
yeah.
That is
I mean,
true.
CDs weren't really a thing yet when Laserdisc was out. It took a while before CD replaced vinyl in the public's eye. Yeah, and vinyl, to be honest, has been making a hell of a comeback.
Cassette tapes too. Like a lot of my favorite punk bands, they put out cassette tapes as their demos now, and I think that that's fucking awesome. I actually buy them on Bandcamp all the time because I still have my old Ghetto Blaster from when I was a kid. So it's awesome to be able to use that fucker again.
And Jesse Allen says, I miss the popcorn smell of theaters. You can get popcorn. It's so funny because I was on, I think it was Uber Eats the other day, and I saw that I could order popcorn from my local movie theater. I was like, are you
Yeah,
kidding
the the
me? They'll actually
the
deliver
theater in my
popcorn
town
and,
did
and,
that.
and I mean, wouldn't that be insane?
Well, the theater in my town, they were closed the entire COVID, but they were the snack bar was open, so you could get theater popcorn to watch at home, and that was like the one amenity that they had open, and I thought that was really neat of them. So yeah, there were opportunities like. And I live in a shit little oaky town, so I'm pretty sure that big cities kind of had to have something like that too at one of the theaters.
and
So
that's
there
not
there
and that's not bad.
probably
That's
is an
not bad
opportunity for you to
to
get that
get
at home.
popcorn.
Yeah.
To get movie theater popcorn delivered at home. That's pretty awesome. Especially because you can watch all these movies. They're all coming. That's what I might consider doing something like that for Dune. Ralph McMillan says I tried theater nachos a couple years ago and they were terrible.
Word, they were so bad when I
I
tried
could
them.
eat a tub of theater buttery popcorn all by myself. I'm not ashamed. You and me both, brother. I love theater popcorn. I wish Wonder Woman 84 wasn't real. I'm with you. I really do. And again, I think Wonder Woman 84 was a fake movie. I think Wonder Woman 84 was about as fake as it gets. Rel McMillan says movies and herbs are a great combo. Pa- Patty is
Word.
a friend of a certain YouTube corner who's toxic, so it isn't that surprising. Yeah, I agree. Theater popcorn on Uber Eats. The theater by me. I think it was a Marcus Cinema, and they were talking about, and they had it where you could actually order you could not just the popcorn, but the hot dogs and the other things that they sell there too. I don't think I could. I don't think they had it where I could order the chicken tenders though, so I was a little disappointed. You know, because that would have been a cool experience to be able to order chicken tenders.
Your favorite,
Yeah.
yeah,
And you know,
my favorite
but
decoration.
thank you, Johnny, so much for coming in and standing in for Sonia tonight. I'm surprised. That would have been horrible, you know. Sonia's internet craps out, and then Sonia doesn't come back to the stream, and then you know, it's just me, you know. And I've done quite a few streams this week, so I kind of was like, man, if I have if I, you know, if I didn't really want to do another live stream where I was just droning on talking to myself. I put up a real interesting classic episode of the ZodWriter show on YouTube from 2014. It was the first episode from 2014 where, you know, I'm not Sonia, Victoria had come in to sub as my co-host for Twinny, who I had as a co-host at the time, and it was one of the first episodes that me and Victoria had done together, apart from
Insane to think about that, because
Cyber Love Talk, and it was a wonderful episode. We had talked about a lot of things that are still very, very, you know, prevalent today, and I remember we were talking about, the whole about technology taking over things, people being addicted to texting and not wanting to communicate verbally or being around people, and people becoming more and more isolated. So it's very very relevant to what's going on today. So I uploaded that episode, and we were interviewing a guy who was a war veteran who had a UFO experience. And one of the things that I found amazing about the episode is you were in the chat for the episode, and you had actually asked a question to the guest that we had on, and at one point I said one of our fellow co-hosts on PSN, Johnny Alpha, has a question, and so I just thought that was so funny. I was like, we've come full circle. Like I can upload old episodes. That's how long we've all known each other. We've all been connected to each other. So such a long time. So it was kind of a pleasure to upload that classic episode.
how is she doing? I haven't heard of Victoria in a long time, and she was your co-host for, oh man, it seemed
Years.
like forever. It's weird that there's a ZodWriter show without her, to tell you the
Yeah,
truth.
I agree completely. I find it very, and I really, I'm weirded out by it, to be honest with you, because when I was listening to that episode, I said to myself, that's exactly why she was my co-host for so many years. Because if you listen to that episode, it's clear how she fits in perfectly and how it makes so much sense. And I just remember I keep thinking to myself, Johnny, like my God, that was like that was such a different time. That was so long ago, but it just doesn't feel like it was all that long ago. It's hard to believe that many years has passed, you know? I mean, my God, that was
Right,
2014. We're in 2021.
right.
I don't know, man. I don't know. And so posting something that, like that old, I might post more classic episodes if it goes over well, if people respond well to it and like it and want to hear more, because I've got a ton of them. I don't have every
You've
episode.
been doing this
I don't have
forever.
every.
You know what I mean?
I don't have every episode, every ZodWriter show episode that I ever did, because of a bad hard drive that went bad, and I lost a lot of episodes. I lost almost all the episodes of Cyber Love Talk, unfortunately. So I can never re-upload that series. But I tried to. But I actually did had to convert the audio file into a video file and put a thumbnail and make it, so that I could put it on YouTube. And so it was an experience. I did that today with one episode just to try it out to see, if it would resonate with people. But yeah, I mean, it just brought back a lot of memories, and it made me realize just how, just how far we've come, just how long we've been doing this kind of thing, man.
Right. And it's all been good times too. I mean, I like the live chat now, and I like how active it is compared to how it was with the older shows. So like there has been innovations, but yeah, I mean like that's what I see is like you and me, we're still doing the same thing we've always been doing. But yeah, it's good times, man, and it's really cool to hear you bring up Victoria because it's been a long time since you have talked about her. But at the same time, it's so weird to think that the ZodWriter show exists without her in a way.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean? Because
I
she was
find it
part
I
of
find
it
it
for
weird. She was a
so
she was a
long.
huge part of it. She was so ingrained in it that it's one of those things that I have no I have no idea, and there were, and her and I had a couple of talks over the last couple of years about her possibly coming back, but she never, but her schedule and all the different things that she's going through in her real life never allowed for her to come back. And that's one of the things that, that's one of the things that's the kind of that was kind of frustrating ultimately, because I always hoped that one day we would be able to essentially, uh, you know, revive and kind of throw back to that time, because I would love to have.
Well, you need to try to a giant reunion, man. Get her and like Nuella and Feisty and all the crazy chicks you used to have. Try to get them all under one roof and hang out and do like the ZodWriter retrospective and on YouTube and just kind of show your new fans how deep your well actually goes and how long you've been doing this and how many different other co-hosts you've had. I mean, like we've worked together, but like this is the first time I've ever really co-hosted with you on your show. You know what I mean? It was recently, which is kind of funny because we've known each other since what 2012. So
Yeah,
and we've been working together since around that then too. So
we've and that's the thing, we've known each other for so long, and we've worked together on these types of things, and it's always been good, and it's always been fun. And to me, I don't know, it just amazes me to see where things have gone, and where things have, ended up, because I never thought, that I'd be doing the ZodWriter show on YouTube. I never thought that would be the case. I always thought that I was gonna be ride or die with PSN no matter what. And that's one of the things that I never.
well, that's on YouTube now
I
too, right?
guess. I mean, it is, but it isn't. I mean, it's not really. I don't know. That's why I like what I've kind of come to realize is that, you know although times change, and you do, because internet radio is a very different format from YouTube. I mean, essentially, in listening to that old show that I uploaded today, I've come to realize that the old show, and when I was listening to it, sounds like an old time talk radio show. It really does have that talk radio feel, talk radio aesthetic. Because remember, on PSN we used to play commercials, we used to play music. So you had all those elements of radio that you don't have now when you do the show on YouTube. You don't have the same you know tools, and you don't do the
Spontaneity.
shows in the same way. But I will agree with you that where we have lost certain things that we were able to do through the radio, we've gained a lot more with the fact that we can interact directly with the chats through any live events that we do, which I think is invaluable and wonderful, because this is how people communicate now anyway. And Showcaz says the Suicide Squad just as fake. Sean Franklin says hi. Rel McMillan says I used to know a resident at the retirement home I work at that used to work at Area 51. I tried to get alien info, but his department shielded him from top secret info. Yeah, the guy that I interviewed, he had a UFO experience, and he was very, very detailed about it. And he came on the ZodWriter show twice to talk about it. The first time he came on and talked about it, I was freaked out. The second time, I was a little more comfortable with it because I had, already interviewed him, so I knew what he was going to be like. But he was really deep. You guys should listen to that episode. It's very intense. I re-uploaded it to YouTube today. It's a very intense episode. We talk about a lot of deep stuff on that episode, and it'll give you guys a taste of what the of what the old format for the ZodWriter show used to be. And if you guys like it, if you guys are fans of it, I'll start uploading more. I'll upload more shows because I've got a ton. I'll upload some of the interviews I did. I'll upload one of the interview shows that I did with Ua Bowl. I can upload that. I think I can upload the episode where I interviewed the Sharknado director. I've got quite a few shows where I've interviewed, actors, actresses, directors, that kind of stuff. So I'll be able to, go ahead and upload some of those episodes in the future if you guys like the classic ZodWriter show line. I'll go ahead and do that more often. But I kind of put that episode up there just as just as kind of a test to see to see how people respond to it. So hopefully you guys like it. It's classic stuff. Jesse Allen said, "Did you find out any info, Rel?" And Johnny, you still with me?
Of course, yeah. No, just listening to you reminisce and reading the comments, and yeah, about the UFO stuff. I mean, Area 51, depending on where you worked and stuff, they really do just make classified air equipment and stuff, new airplanes there. So the person you knew might very well have worked on something legit. You know what I mean? That's how that thing's broken up. So he might not have known anything about aliens, which is kind of a bummer because you'd hope. But it is what it is, and you can always hope for the best that there was one really cool story that guy never got to tell you, type of thing.
Yeah. And Rel McMillan says a few years ago, some high government official, I believe in Canada, was saying he's seen aliens, but no one ever talks about it anymore. I think he was describing the Greys. Oh, interesting. Interesting stuff.
Well, one of the things is the Navy has completely confirmed the UFO thing. They have so many tapes that they've put out that say that, like, dude, these things show up in our airspace. We can't explain them. They haven't said that they're aliens or not, but there are certain things about a lot of the theories that kind of are accepted even by the government at this point. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's actually any tapes of people finding dead gray aliens or whatever, but the UFO phenomenon has been proven to be a real thing by the U.S. Navy. So at the end of the day, do with that what you will.
Yeah.
I think it's cool though, because I love aliens.
Yeah.
And I would love for it to be true.
I don't know. I wonder. I wonder if I tried to find that guy. I wonder what that guy that I interviewed. I wonder what he's up to these days. Is he still alive? I don't know.
That'd be neat. Yeah, maybe see if you could check in on that. That'd be pretty fun. Just to reminisce, bring a little of that old back. Have a classic guest on.
Yeah, I would be. And that's the thing. I have a lot of ideas of things I'd like to do, people I'd like to try to bring on again that I've interviewed before to try and recapture some of that classic feel to that kind of show, because I do miss it. I do miss how it was. I do miss how it was formatted. I mean, you and I had some legendary shows we did together. Remember when we interviewed the reggae sensation, worldwide reggae sensation Leja, and he was on camera smoking the biggest blunt we'd ever seen in our lives.
He's a character too, man. Yeah, like it would be great to get him back. And he is a all-star, man. He was in he was supposed to be in the movie Shoot Us Part 2, but he was a little too nervous to show up. He was cast and everything, but he I loved that story too. He's like, Zod, I was going to be there, but I just, I couldn't. I was too scared. I was just like, you're a gangster though. I like,
Yeah,
but okay, whatever.
Leja is something
He's
else.
awesome.
He still sends me new music that he puts out to this day. He still emails me music tracks. So it might be possible to get him on. Although I don't
What
know
was what was that
we,
British singer girl's name that
oh,
did
you
your
talk.
theme song and everything? She was badass too.
Georgina. Yeah, Georgina.
Yeah.
I still talk to her too. And again, she's somebody I'd like to bring on again. I think I think she's working for Nickelodeon now, though. She's become a competent interviewer in her own right. She's interviewed tons of celebrities, and I think she works for Nickelodeon now. So it'd be kind of cool to bring her back too. But again, the whole problem is that would have to be something, I think, that would have to be pre-recorded, because we couldn't really play any of the music, on a live stream through
Right.
StreamYard that I know of, because there's no way to upload an MP3 file. To queue up an MP3 file, we'd almost have to have all the music files queued up as MP4s, and they'd have to have videos so that you could play it. You could play it through StreamYard. That'd be the only way you could do it, or you could upload it. You could you could pre-record it like we did in the old days, and then upload it to just upload it directly through YouTube. And that would be the way that it would be do. There would be there's ways we could do it, but it'd be more complicated than
Just doing a live
how we used
stream.
to do it. Yeah, and how we used to do it on in the old PSN days. But yeah, I was actually that I was thinking about all of that today when I was listening to that old show. I mean, that old show brought back a lot of memories and a lot of nostalgia, just thinking about, and the fact that a lot of the stuff that we were talking about is very relevant today, is more relevant today than it was in 2014 when we were talking about it. I just I couldn't believe it. I felt like a prophet after after listening to that show. I'm like, "Oh my god, I can't believe we said these things. We were like totally right. We were spot on, because this is exactly what's happened." I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna try though. I'm gonna see. Let's see if I can reach out to a few people. And it would be nice to get Victoria on with us, just for like a guest spot. If she can't, it would be nice just to get her on, just to catch up with her and get her on a stream, and see how she's doing. I'd love to see if I could pull something like that off.
Hell
I
yeah.
mean, I know at one
Yeah,
point
I'm down.
within the last couple of years, I know at one point there was, I had had one phone conversation with Victoria about about possibly, about her possibly coming back. And there was also talk with, she had brought Feisty Brunette onto the phone, and we had talked about Feisty, aka Stacy, and we had had a conversation about possibly they wanted to revive Cyber Love Talk. And not only did they want to revive Cyber Love Talk, but Morza, who was a part of Cyber Love Talk and had said she was never going to would never do Cyber Love Talk again, was even on board. All three of them were on board bringing back Cyber Love Talk, and this was right before PSN Radio had shut down. Right before Jackal had decided to move on from the network, and so so I didn't know if there was going to be a way that we could transition that over to YouTube or not. But having been doing these kinds of shows with you and Sonia, I see that that it would be possible, to basically bring those shows back in a way that in the way that they were, it just wouldn't be, you just wouldn't be able to do it like you would a traditional radio show with music and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Which
Of,
I don't really see as a loss,
but isn't
really.
there,
I mean,
but isn't there a way to upload like MP3s and sound effects though? Isn't there a way to do that on StreamYard? Because it
I,
seems like people do use that,
yeah.
have that kind of stuff. But I wonder, is it all video? It's all MP4? I think it.
I'm not sure, man. Like I've just everything I've learned, I learned from you, and I'm picking new things up too from my other buddies that stream. So if I do learn something, I'll let you know as soon as I get that knowledge.
Yeah, I've been investigating it too, and I haven't really found anything. I have to ask some people because I think most everything that people run through StreamYard is all video content. Like, and even if they do show
Yeah,
like a
because
clip with a sound effect or something, it's always a video clip. So
yeah, it's like a GIF or something with a duh noise or something like that for like the little funny effects. Yeah, that's what I've noticed from my friends' streams too. So I think that would be what we'd have to do is like learn how to make those type of things, which I don't think they could be too hard, but I don't know how to yet.
yeah, I think if you know what material you want to use too, uh, like I was thinking something along the lines of if I was going to bring, like if I were to bring somebody on like Georgina for example, if we were to bring Georgina onto the show, you would essentially, because being a musician and all that, I would want to have her on. I'd want to be able to showcase her music. So I would have to do a music video kind of a thing, where you essentially would take the music video stuff that she's put out, and basically run those,
Wait, kind of splice it together? Yeah. Type of
splice
thing,
it
make a little
together.
video package with your favorite song like playing in the background. That can't be too hard. I could actually probably figure that out because I have a couple editing programs. I could do something like that, but trying to like,
I do have a video that I spliced together that has a lot of her music videos that she did back in the day on YouTube, that she'd put on YouTube. I took a bunch of her music videos and spliced them together, and that's what I'm thinking that could be maybe
at least a prototype for what
that
you want to
yeah,
do.
like a prototype for that particular type of idea. Because I'm like looking at different ways, because I think that would be good for the show. Like I seriously would love to see something like that when you interview, because like when you interview a musician, you want to be able to showcase their music. That's a big part of who they are. So it's much nicer to be able to showcase their music versus versus just talking to them. I mean,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. Any opportunity I would get to bring Georgina on a live stream and talk to her about and catch up with everything that she's been up to in recent years would be absolutely amazing. But I think the idea of like showcasing her music would be good. Like here's an example, everyone. This is Georgina right here.
No, 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 no. Yeah. Love that boy's my fucking problem. Yeah, I like to fuck, got a fucking problem. Love that boy's my fucking problem. Yeah, I like to fuck, got a fucking problem. Love that boy's my fucking problem. Yeah, I like to fuck, got a fucking problem. finding somebody real is your fucking problem. Bring the boys to the crib, maybe we can solve it. Hold up, bitch, simmer down. Taking it alone, boy, give it to me now. Make that thing pop like it's in your nine. Ooh, baby, like it raw with a shimmy, shimmy, eye. Hey, bitch, get it like me. Never met a motherfucker fresh.
I want to hear this song in a Nickelodeon cartoon.
Pow pow. Yeah, I miss Georgina. She's so amazing.
Jaws raw when I'm here, they think I can't deliver. Baby, I can show you things that you never heard of. Boy, let me teach you. Don't tell anyone, though. I'm not the kind of girl that gets it all on the show. Just a woman's got needs, and boy, we both know that you gotta blow. So you know. I'll be love that boy's my fucking problem. Yeah, I like to fuck, I got a fucking problem. I love that boy's my fucking problem. Yeah, I like to fuck, I got a fucking problem. I love bad boys, my fucking problem. Yeah, I like to fuck, I got a fucking problem. If finding somebody real is your fucking problem. Bring your boys to the crib, baby, we can solve it. You know I love it when this beat is on. Make you think about all the females you believe on. Make me think about all the men that I've been beating on. Got a feeling that's the same shit that we speaking on. No word, ain't in my album where you sleeping on. You should bring the lyrics out and have a fucking read along. Ain't a fucking sing along. Let your brother read alone and just okay. Then just drop down and get your ego on. I heard you told me, now it's time to lay it on. We've been talking too much shit, boy, this chat is on. Time to change the tempo up, baby, why don't you bring it on? You've been waiting all night, trying to get me alone. I've been waiting for the word, so you'll take me home, yes, Lord. I don't really say this often, but enough shit talking, show me some action. Now I beast, love that boy's my fucking problem. Yeah, I like to fuck, I got a fucking problem. I love bad boys, my fucking problem. Yeah, I like to fuck, I got a fucking problem. I love bad boys, my fucking problem. Yeah, I like to fuck, I got a fucking problem. If finding somebody real is your fucking problem. Bring your boys to the crib, baby, we can solve it. Yeah, host finale. A pep talk turned into a pep rally. Steady from the hood, but live inside the valley. Now you make it in London, but you going back to Cali. You're all got your boy on my line, word on my line. I need you fuck them at the same damn time. I mean like a girl don't exist. Boy, I know you want these tits. My name is Georgina Revo. Keep an eye out, I'm running this show. Keeping these bad boys in line, don't you know? Teasing these boys so they can't take them more. Hold them off, hey boy, you got a long way. Don't get involved, listen to what the crystal ball say. Hallelujah, holler back out to your beast.
She rocks it, man.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I'm at a payphone trying to call home. All of my change I spent on you. Where have the times gone? Baby, it's so wrong. Where are the plans we made for two? Yeah, I know it's hard to remember the people we used to be. It's even harder to picture you're not here next to me. Said it's too late to make it, but is it too late to try? And in our time that you wasted, all of our bridges burned down. Now wasting my nights, you turned out the lights. Now I'm paralyzed, still stuck in that time when we called it love. But even the sun sets in paradise. I'm at a payphone trying to call home. All of my change I spent on you. Where have the times gone? Baby, it's so wrong. Where are the plans we made for two? If happy ever after did exist, I would still be holding you like this. All those fairy tales are full of shit. One more fucking love song, I'll be sick. You turned your back on tomorrow, 'cause you forgot yesterday. I gave you my love to borrow, but you just gave
damn question, Rel.
I'm paralyzed.
So, yeah, I agree.
We called it love, but even the sun sets in paradise. I'm at a payphone trying to call home. All of my change I spent on you. Where have the times gone? Baby, it's so wrong. Where are the plans we made for two? If happy ever after did exist, I would still be holding you like this. All those fairy tales are full of shit. One more fucking love song, I'll be sick.
I think it's because she was songbird with a foul mouth before it was popular. At this time, like if you sang ballads like she did, you really weren't supposed to cuss as much as she does. And
Maybe that's possible, but she was really really pushing stuff. I mean, she definitely did some work with some big producers and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's crazy.
But she's got an incredible voice. When you hear people that did get famous and you realize that she didn't, you're just like, well, where's the fucking fairness in the universe, man?
Exactly. The first time I interviewed her, she was starstruck. I was starstruck. And when we became really good friends, I was always trying to promote her. I mean, you remember, I was always trying to promote her every show. I would always play all her music.
She gave you a song to use as your theme song and shit. She was awesome. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. She built my. She really was a big part of the ZodWriter show. I mean, for real.
But yeah, like back when she did this song, like you didn't have songs like the song that Megan Thee Stallion and what's her name did about the wet ass poonanners and stuff. Like if you sang songs like this, you had to be like a goody girl. You had to sing about loving your man and stuff. And she's talking about like I like to fuck my boy, and so I got a fucking problem. And it just kind of didn't fly in the time period. As weird as that sounds, like that's. And I
know they were going to use. There was one time that they were actually some filmmaker wanted to use her version of that song for a movie, but that never panned out. But I mean, it was definitely good enough to be used for a movie. I have to agree.
Oh wait, that was a cover? I've only ever heard her version. Who did the original?
Well, it was originally done by a rapper, I think, couple rappers.
Okay. No, her version rocks. I mean, that's the only one I've ever known, and yeah, I could see it fitting in a lot of like, I could see it being in my favorite movie of the year, Kate, on Netflix, the fake movie that I love so much. I could totally hear that song in that movie. It would have been the angry chick movie and the good angry chick song in it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was done by Rocky, Drake, and Kendrick. Yeah.
Okay. Was that Carlos Mencia playing the piano for her?
It looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks like it. Like, what are you doing there, Carlos Mencia?
Try
God, watching this now just brings back so many memories. My God, man.
And trip down memory lane into hallowed antiquities. And like Rel pointed out, like, she is utterly gorgeous. I have no idea why they looked at her and thought she wasn't marketable as a pop singer. They're fucking idiots in the industry.
I don't get it at all. She should be at the at music award shows and all that. She's fantastic.
Staring at this ink of blood and crushed beneath. Oh, I tell my love to wet it all. Cut out all the roads and let me go.
Her music videos are very nicely shot too.
Yeah, they're nice and simple, but like they look good. I mean, they fit the theme of the song too. I mean, as far as, you know, yeah, a person that's trying to break in, doesn't have too much money, like, they're clean. They look really nice.
And I told you to be patient, and I told you to be fine, and I told you to be balanced, and I told you to be kind. In the morning I'll be with you, but it will be a different kind. I'll be holding all the tickets, and you'll be holding.
Yeah, to put it into context, like around then, when she was doing this is when like Katy Perry and like Meghan Trainor and that type of garbage is what made up the pop charts. So,
Well, I remember one producer that she had told me about. There was a producer that compared her to Adele.
I can see that, especially with the vocal range she has. That'd probably be the closest I could compare her to as well. Definitely cuter though.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
And I told you to be patient, and I told you to be fine, and I told you to be balanced, and I told you to be kind. And now who your love is wasted, and then who the hell was I? And I'm breaking out the bridges, and at the end of all your lies. Who will love you? Who will fight? Who will fall far behind? Who will love you? Who will fight? Who will fall far behind?
She should have tried to go into indie rock. After the pop didn't work for her, I think she could have been a pretty big star in the indie rock world.
Oh, I agree. I think she's like one of the most talented people I've ever met. She's incredible, and
I'm really happy she has a career now, though. The one that's popping, she deserves it. It's sad that like the singing didn't take her anywhere because she's got a beautiful voice, man. no auto tune, all just clean vocals. I mean,
Yeah,
damn.
clean, beautiful vocals, on par, better than anything Adele ever put out.
I still don't know what Rolling in the Deep means, so
I
yeah.
always find you, always find something wrong. You've been putting up with my shit just way too long. So gifted at finding what I don't like the most. So I think it's time for us to have a toast. Let's have a toast for douchebags. Let's have a toast for the assholes. Let's have a toast for them scumbags. Every one of them that I know. Let's have a toast for the jerk-offs. I don't
Little gangster, man, damn.
Baby, I got a plan. Run away as fast as you can. I found bitches in my email. Send this boy a picture of my tits. I don't know what it is with males, but I'm not too good at that shit. I could have me a good boy, still be addicted to them who rise. And I'll just blame everything on you. You should know that's what I'm good at. And I always find you, always find you, always find something wrong. You've been putting up with my shit just way too long. So gifted at finding what I don't like the most. So I think it's time for us to have a toast. Let's have a toast for the douchebags. Let's have a toast for the assholes. Let's have a toast for them scumbags. Every one of them that I know. Let's have a toast for the jerk-offs that'll never take work off. Baby, I got a plan. Run away as fast as you can. Run away from me, baby. Run away from me, baby. Ooh, run away. About to get crazy, so just run away. Never was much of a romantic. I can never take the intimacy, and I know it did damage. Cause the look in your eyes is giving
Papa, her name is Georgina Ravel.
Advantage, cause you blame me for everything. I don't know how I'ma manage. One day you'll just up and leave. And I always find, yeah, I always find something wrong. You've been putting up with my shit just way too long. So gifted at finding what I don't like the most. So I think it's time for us to have a toast. Let's have a toast for the douchebags. Let's have a toast for the assholes. Let's have a toast for them scumbags. Every one of them that I know. Let's have a toast for the jerk-offs that'll never take work off. Baby, I got a plan. Run away as fast as you can. Run away from me, baby. Run away from me, baby. Baby, run away. It's about to get crazy, so just run away. Too much light in this window, don't wake me up. Only
little
coffee,
bit.
no sugar inside my ear.
Not nowhere near as gruff of a voice, but yeah, there's a resemblance there too. I can see that pop up.
Still give me a kiss. I wasn't finished dreaming about your lips. Don't wake me up.
Yeah, but see, just watching this, you can all get a sense of why when I got to know her and when I was dealing with her, it was like I was. You can see why I would be starstruck, because she's absolutely amazing. Very much so, very much so, and she's a salt of the earth, awesome person. I mean.
Yeah, that was probably her problem. She was too nice to be part of like that toxic ass industry.
Toxic industry, toxic, yes.
The music industry's horrible, dog.
Yeah.
Especially pop.
So much life in the city, you won't believe. Been awake some days now, no time to sleep. If your heart is a pillow, this love is the bed. Tell me, what is this music inside my head? Please don't wake me up. Don't wake me up. Oh no. Don't wake me up. Don't wake me up. Oh no. Don't wake me up. Don't wake me up. Oh no. Don't wake me up. Don't wake me up. Don't wake me up. Don't wake me up. Oh no. Don't wake me up.
Yes, I do have some of her original material, but it's just not in video form. I have audio tracks, and yeah, she does write her own stuff and was producing some stuff. It's amazing stuff. Everything she does, it's just incredible. So I don't know. She should be on like her like 15th professional album by now.
Don't wake me up. Don't wake me up. Don't wake me up. Oh no. Don't wake me up. Don't wake me up.
Hi, my name is Georgina and this is my cover of Hey Ya.
Hey, hey, yeah. Hey, yeah.
This was about that time, 2013, 2014. I put this video together to kind of showcase all of her, all of the music that she had made into music videos at the time. So I think I edited them all together pretty well.
I'm singing, hey, hey, yeah, hey, got it. Oh, you think you got it, but got it, just don't get it till it's nothing at all. Get together, oh, we get together. Separate's always better till there's feelings involved. And what they say is nothing lasts forever. No makes us happy, yeah. If love don't exist, then what are we still doing here? And I'm singing, hey, ah, hey, ah, and I'm singing, hey, ah, hey, ah. My baby don't mess around with the love you so, 'cause I know love is love. But does she really want it? I can't stand to see me walk out that door. Don't try to fight me, 'cause I'm totally killing me right now. Thank God for love and together like we don't know how. And I'm singing, hey, ah, hey,
Let's go out to check that out, Papa Brad. I'd like to hear a punk rock version of this, though.
I'd actually like to hear Georgina do some punk rock. I think she'd be killer.
the bleak of the night, I was falling from the sky in the blood. You took my breath away, and my heart starts beating.
Man, she had a lot of material, huh? Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember at the time I put this together, it was like, my God, she's got a whole, she's got enough here to put out an album.
Burning down on me, you're like a laser light, burning up, burning down on me. You make me feel good, make me feel safe, you make me feel like I could live enough.
But that's just, that's just an example of, Georgina's material. You kind of, and again, today has just been essentially just been like a big, ZodWriter, nostalgia kind of day, It's essentially just been so much, just even going back, thinking about all this kinds of stuff. And yeah, she was her, and then, an aspiring rap artist named Joe Darko. Her and Joe Darko collaborated on the original theme song for the ZodWriter show back when I had it on PSN Radio. Georgina was a huge part of this show, and I still consider her a part of the ZodWriter show, which is why one of these days I'm gonna bring her on here, man, and we're gonna talk to her again, and get caught up, with her, and see what she's got. Her voice is so out front. She is not hiding behind anything. No, and she's a very very strong singer. Is it on YouTube? I believe she does still have a YouTube channel. I don't know if all of these songs, all of the stuff, the material that I've been playing tonight, is still available. Let me look. I think she.
What was that grime rapper guy she brought on your show? Was it Coors? Was his name? He was
Well,
really
we
good
had
too.
we had Coors. Coors. Let's see. Coors was. Coors was a rapper that I'd brought on, that she was here. Looks like she still has. She still has. She hasn't put up. She's still got a lot of her covers, a lot of her things that she's done on her YouTube channel. Here, I'm going to actually post a link here in the chat, so you can go and subscribe and listen to some of her stuff because she's definitely got, she's definitely got a lot of material on YouTube still. A lot of her videos, stuff, stuff, stuff going about as far back as wow, as far back as 9, 10 years ago, and then she's got stuff as current as 2 years ago. So she hasn't been, putting out too much music, but I hope she's still, I hope she's still singing. I really do have to catch up, I have to catch up with her and find out, find out what she's been up to currently. I know I did talk to her a little bit last year, a little bit I do have Facebook correspondence with her still from time to time, but it's interesting because like I said, I I have all these, I've had all these musicians and people, professionals, industry professionals on the ZodWriter show in the past. And she essentially was a huge part of it because again, theme music, anytime she had any new music that anytime she had any new music that she was doing or she wanted an opinion on her music or something, she would send me a track. She would send me a demo track of something that she was working on and, just shoot me a message like, hey, what do you think of this? Or what do you think I should do differently with this? She was really cool. Like I actually really love the, that about her. And she's one of the nicest people in the world. She's one of the nicest people I've ever known. So it's one of those things where like right now it's like thinking about it and going back to, that she's definitely somebody I'd love to bring on the show. Daft Punk, yeah, Daft Punk cover, yes, definitely, yes, 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 she is very, 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 very talented, very, very amazing, and I think, hold on, Gravity, and then she did a song with a couple other artists she collaborated with. There's a song she did called Party Crazy that I wish I could, it's an original song called Party Crazy that I wish I could play for you guys on here, but unfortunately it was never made into a music video. So, so I can't, so I wasn't able to add it to the music video montage that I did. Papa Brad's Gaming says I subscribed and rang that bell. Yeah, I hopefully she'll put out some new stuff. I'm gonna have to hit her up and find out and be like, hey, are you still doing music at all? I know the last time I talked to her, she said she had kind of taken a break because she was busy with other stuff and hadn't really had as much time to devote to the music as she used to. But I'm gonna ring her up again and see what she has to say. Would you duet with her, Zod? I can't sing.
1,000 subs.
Ah.
1,000 subs. Zod will do a duet with Georgina.
Oh my God, Georgina Revel. If I were to do a duet with her, I would embarrass myself. I did my own cover of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and I sent it to her.
Has recording still.
She has that recording. She has it somewhere in her archives. I did send it to her. I actually recorded my cover. And I sent it to her, and I was like, tell me what you think about this. We never talked about it. So I don't know, but no, she's definitely salt of the earth. I'd love to bring, like I said, I'd love to bring her on one of these live streams. I'd love to, do that now, especially now, with things being the way they are. Release the Zod cut. Yeah, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I'm not putting it on making a music video out of it. I don't know. I don't know. Do I even still have my cover of
You have
Somewhere
it.
Over the Rainbow? No, I don't know because I had a hard drive that had everything on it that I lost a lot of things. I lost an entire series that I did. So I don't know if I honestly don't know if I still have my cover of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I don't know if I do still have it.
It's weird to think that cyber love talk is lost media now. Like that's crazy to think that something that we you created, man, is like wiped. That's terrifying and sad. But like it was a scary show, man. I used to listen to it. I used to support all my PSN boys. I used to be in the chat. The PSN chat sucked, but I'd be there and oh man, some of the stuff that those girls would have Zod talk about, man. Even he was like kind of embarrassed and blushing. You could hear it in his voice. And yeah, cyber love talk was a trip. I would like to see how you guys could reimagine that on YouTube now. That might have to be like an OnlyFans show, to tell you the truth. I mean, to do it as you guys did on PSN. I mean, like you guys got dirty on that
I don't know
motherfucker.
how it would. Yeah, I don't know how. I don't know how cyber love talk could be resurrected now. It would be hard. It would be hard to do it on YouTube. I think. But I mean, not really. If you think
Well, you'd
about
have to
it,
age restrict. If you age restricted it, they would mess with you. But if you try to put it out as like a regular thing and you guys went as deep as you guys did into topics, yeah, they would try to pull your card. But if you age restricted the show, that would be one thing. That would be
yeah,
cool, I guess.
yeah, it probably would have to have an age restriction. I mean, I know everything that you put on YouTube, you have to verify that it's not for kids, or if it is for kids or whatever. But yeah, that would actually have to have some sort of a parental advisory warning prior to every
Super not safe for
broadcast
work.
if
Yep.
it was gonna come out, if it was gonna return. And I wouldn't have a problem bringing it back, especially because we could do it the same way that we do these live streams. You don't have to necessarily come on camera. You can have your avatar, and you could just talk like you normally would through PSN. And Papa Brad's Gaming says, thanks for the combo and great music. I got to get some sleep. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Papa Brad, for being here as always. Later, bro. It was good. Thanks for sticking with us. And again, I'm sorry that Sonia was having internet issues and wasn't able to return back to the show. It's
If I
weird.
didn't know she wasn't gonna come back, I'd CIG her in here, man. I'd make a CIG version of Sonya so she could be up in here talking to you
Yeah, yeah.
guys.
Make a CIG version of her and bring her in here because this is the late night Q&A with ZodWriter featuring Sweet Sonia G, and lately Sweet Sonia G's internet has been interfering with Sweet Sonia G being a big part of a show that she's on twice a week. It's ironic in a lot of ways. Uh, Marcus Cruz says Millie Bobby Brown's acting is so good in Stranger Things. I agree. I think she's a great actress. What was Cyber Love Talk? Cyber Love Show. What was it about? It was about
Talk
sex
show
and
about
rela-
sex.
sex
Yeah.
and relationships. To be perfectly honest with you, it was a very adult oriented show. I have very few episodes of that show left because of the fact that I had a bad hard drive crash and lost virtually all that show. I probably have like maybe 3 or 4 episodes, you know, still of that show, only because I'd actually emailed or Google shared some of those episodes with people, and so I was able to retrieve some of them from that I had saved. But other than that, yeah, that show is lost to the annals of time. There's like no way to recover those
Yeah, it's lost
episodes.
media.
I mean, I think you'd almost be. I honestly feel like hard drive recovery is that kind of thing is super expensive. But if I was actually able to take that drive to a professional place and actually have it recovered, it would be it would probably be worth it just to have that show back. You know, but the problem is that when hard drives get corrupted, there's no guarantee that even when they are able to recover some of the data, that they're not able to completely they're not always able to completely recover the files in the form that they were in before the hard drive
Yeah, the audio
crash.
could be all distorted and whatnot on them if they do even recover them.
And that's the thing, you're taking a risk if you could get it recovered. But it's not just Cyber Love Talk I lost. It's like the first couple of years of the ZodWriter show that I lost as well too, because I'd been doing the ZodWriter show since 2012, and the furthest back ZodWriter show that I have is the earliest I can go with ZodWriter show is 2014. So I lost an entire, I lost an entire 2 year, 2 years worth of shows for the ZodWriter show. But it's more tragic that all of Cyber Love Talk is gone. Zod, I'm becoming sheriff now. Zod, I'm becoming weird now. Sorry. No, you're not
You're
weird. You're okay, Marcus. You're not weird,
Yeah,
bro.
you're just talking your normal shit. I think you were right the first time though. I think you are becoming serif now. Like you're more serif than you are weird, Marcus. Because we know you got wood from Millie, and that's okay. Because yeah, having celebrity crushes is not a bad thing. I've talked about the movie several times tonight. Kate, I absolutely adore the actress Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I also really like Kate Beckinsale. There's a lot of really famous, people that I simp over. So yeah, Marcus, don't ever feel bad about it, man. As long as you're not creepy with it, like it's all good, kid.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it. I agree with you. And I guess this has been a fun show. And like I said, I apologize for Sonia G's technical difficulties. It's kind of it's kind of weird doing doing a show like this, and then having her not be here for it when her name is on the show. So it's kind of, yeah. But but we'll try again on Monday with episode 25 of Late Night Q&A with ZodWriter featuring Sweet Sonia G. I thank everybody for hanging in there with me tonight, hanging in there with me and Johnny tonight. And I thank all of you who were also here this morning when I did my show complaining about being locked out of my Twitter account again. And I appreciate that. And yeah, we'll see you guys again next week. Good night, everybody. Pow, pow.